All right. And we are live here. You know what? I'm just gonna make the AI thumbnail the screen for visual on stream.
Let me actually see it. Yeah, I want to see
it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
You mentioned it the other day, but I never saw what you were talking about specifically.
Well, that was a different AI thumbnail, but I'm using a different AI thumbnail now. So let me make this fit to screen.
Guys, I'm sending you a screenshot of this thumbnail I just made using the vidIQ thing. What do you guys think? It's for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I typed it.
It looks pretty cool.
Right? Isn't that
it's better than the ones I did for the ones I got for Boruto chapter 14 makes no sense. Weren't very accurate, but
good. 14 is 14 out?
Yeah, so let me just read.
I thought that was chapter 13. Am I? Nah, no, that's 13.
Interrogation's 14. 13's the flashback with Koji.
We're on chapter 14. Damn, it did not feel like we were that far ahead.
By the way, just talking on Boruto really quick, because I thought it was hilarious. So I made community polls and scheduled them days in advance before we got the official chapter.
I need to catch up on these. I'm so far behind.
On the community polls?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, again, I made these before the official chapter came out, just scheduling like 2 weeks in advance or whatever. I'm out of community polls, by the way, so I need to schedule more, probably like tomorrow or whenever. But I just made this one today.
Let's make a day where we all do it together, because like I suck at those. I was doing good with them for a while, but it takes so much.
Yeah, same, bro. I keep saying I'm gonna do it once a day, and then I do one, and then I'm done the next day.
Click and drag, and it's like, gosh. God.
I don't have enough photos. And I guess I could just download Infinite. I need Oodie. You need to send me like a folder of all these photos just so I can use them.
Oh, well, I delete them as soon as I use them. So that's the thing. I just screenshot them on my phone.
Okay. You don't reuse them?
I try not to make them more variable or whatever.
Man.
For the community polls, I do. I really mean for thumbnails. Whenever I put a thumbnail picture,
I reuse thumbnails. Absolutely. I'm like, look here, or somebody like if I have somebody who wants one I haven't used in a while, like sure, absolutely.
Fair enough.
Shoot, I got spares. I had a couple of JJK ones in case we needed one tonight for the JJK stream. I got like a bill. Nah, I keep reuse the hell out of them. Thumbnails are expensive. I can't even afford like the bougie ones that Kamui be getting.
That's hilarious. I had a thumbnail for tonight's stream. It was gonna be this one, but I'm just gonna save it for a future JJK stream.
So, there you go. What happened? Who made that one?
I don't know, some random bozo.
Oh my god, that's a good ass drawing. I like that. Oh, we could put his why JJK sucks and you should not watch it or something like that. Something super clickbait.
Why Sukuna is the worst character in fiction.
Why JJK sucks and you should watch it anyway.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna use that. Look, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I've learned that clickbaity titles are hilarious. You gotta triple down on them. Like 10 billion% reason why.
I'm scared to do them on my channel, but I love it on the podcast channel.
Oh no, I've started like taking inspiration. Like, wait a minute. Like, why? I said something crazy the other day. Oh, yeah, like how Kawaki is a C-U-C-K. I'm not sure if I can say that word. It'll get me in trouble. And irredeemable or something like that. And it did quite well. People love the crazy ass.
You're going to be
the crazy clickbait title.
So pleased to hear that our Makes No Sense playlist is up to 120 videos.
Oh, God. No,
that's gotta be by far the most.
Absolutely. Keep in mind that is out of. Does it show how many videos are on the channel here?
Hey, make more shorts. By the way, you guys
726.
It's like 1/7.
That's like the channel shorts though.
17%.
No, it's like a little bit under a fifth. That's like 17% maybe.
If it makes you feel better, King of Chaos, regardless of the shorts tab, we have a shorts playlist that gets updated pretty frequently.
I know.
There's 70 videos.
Like, make more shorts.
It's crazy.
I didn't know you guys had any, and I went in and I was like, wait, that's what Kamui looks like? Like, it makes sense. I always thought
they're just in the shorts. Yeah, I don't know what you did with some of those videos.
Some of them are members only, especially I think the more recent ones, but yeah, that's fine.
You guys have members?
No.
Bougie scum.
But I do have for whenever we do get members. Oh my god, they're set up for freaking life, bro. I got members only content for days. It's crazy.
Hey, how much for a membership? Whoa.
Well, literally days. I don't know, like $5.
Yeah, how much? Like,
yeah, how much? Can you even be a membership? Can you test this for us really quick?
Me? Of course
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do that. How much did you set it up for the first time?
I don't remember.
Because you can make tiers and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely did it. In fact, I did like 3 freaking times since it was annoying. I'm confident it's working. There's no way it can't be working.
WalkyTalkyPod.
If I hit
unsubscribe.
Join,
it says $4.99.
We only have the one $4.99 a month. It's just the one tier.
That's what I've got.
Okay. Yeah, works for me.
So for $5 a month, guys, just so you know, those of you watching here, all 5 of you, you can get like hundreds of members only videos.
Think about it, guys. If each of you donate $1 for each of the 5 people here, then all 5 of you could have memberships. That's everyone.
Wait, what?
How that works?
Yeah, I'm definitely not that bad at math, but even I was confused there.
But that being said, come on, guys, give us. Think about how many hours a week we spent on this to make $0.
That's the Walky Talky podcast. Makes
I've been actually advertising my memberships recently because I've won a member. Fun fact, I was shocked, but yeah, turns out I'm not.
I don't have any members either.
Yeah.
I have exactly 1, and he thinks I'm funny.
That's awesome.
I think YouTube Premium actually. No. With YouTube Premium, I think he gets a membership.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or something like that. I should check that.
Weird. I know that's the thing. I know for me, back when I only had like a 1,500 followers or something, that was the time when I would have gotten members. But then things happen, and it just now nobody wants to be a member anymore. Long story short.
Oh dang.
Which is sad. It's tragic.
It really is. I'm gonna
Considering I have like 10 times the subs as that, and I can't get any members.
Kamui, I love that one video or that one comment on your recent video. Let's see. It was the top comment. What was it? Let's see. Not yours. Not this one. Not this one. It was a short one. It was a short comment.
Mine? It should be like, I love you, BB.
It's the comment where Kamui, you respond to something along the lines of, I'm guessing you haven't seen the video yet.
I hate when people literally come in there just to say anything. Like, bro, if you've not watched the video, shut up. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know if you go in there like trying to like, oh, you must not know this, and it's like something I clearly talked about in the video. I have like 0. I just delete it. I ain't gonna even lie. I know. Or what I'll do is I'll say something rude back and then I'll delete it. It makes me feel better. I know that sounds awful, but it's true. I'm like, don't come at me with some nonsense. Like, my IQ's average, you know?
I love it.
I'm an average IQ MFer.
I think it's this one, TXNIZ one.
I'm looking. I don't see. Which one are you?
No, the one above. TX now down, bottom, but no, but bottom.
Control F, TX. Way down there, yeah. I was really hoping you were gonna talk on the Eno is scum point, but
I already had my review in before. By the time you and I talked, I'd already sent that thing to my editor. Yeah. Although I might have mentioned that at some point. Like, look, y'all.
I included it in mine. I'm gonna make a YouTube short for it still.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I did talk about Eno a little bit and how I'm like a little bit saddened by her, but I don't think she's scum. Maybe she is though. I don't know.
Well, do you want to quickly listen to that part of the video?
I remember. Oh God, I was there for that. I saw Shinjutsu's video short and condensed version of it too. Which I was like, okay, King of Chaos Exposed would have been a better title for that. That's what I would have put. I'm like, King of Chaos Exposed by Kamui and Udkun.
Yeah, I can't even be included in that. I said words like 2% of the time. That was mainly a you guys stopping on that one.
Well, wait, no! You were there. Don't act like you weren't there.
I was there, but I couldn't get a word in between you two. I had points I didn't even get to. You're
gonna tell me that Kamui and I led that whole, like Kamui was the championer of the Ino scum thing. I thought that was you who was pushing that narrative more than him.
Let me put
I know
it
he
to
said the
you
whole
this
Kakashi
way.
thing.
I'm not even going to blame you guys. It's a problem with me. If I just did a solo podcast, I would be interrupting myself, unable to finish my own points because I'm thinking of 2 more points before I finish the one I'm currently on.
Do you
It
think
just
Ino scum then? Like, I'm
exponentially
actually
multiplies. Oh yeah,
you could have been
absolutely.
the tiebreaker.
No, I'm completely down for it. No, again, the 2% of words that I said was completely agreed.
Same person. This video coming. Same person theory. That's what I'm gonna go back to whenever you guys disagree with me. Like, nope, it is the same people. It's just one opinion, not 2.
Love to see it.
That's how you survive on the internet now. You just deny reality.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So back to this. So okay, yeah, I was making the community polls before the official chapter comes out. This community poll: if Boruto had to reveal more during the interrogation, what should Boruto have revealed? I thought it was an interesting question. I just came up with stuff that he he didn't reveal. So could he have revealed Koji's identity? Would that have been the best? Maybe about omnipotence as a concept? Would that be good writing? Is that recap? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. Kawaki or Ada's lie? That's like probably the craziest one. But then you get the most voted one. Sasuke is a tree.
But they know that.
Yeah, no, so he just said it.
He said, but Sasuke said that. No, he said in the chapter that Sasuke's a tree. He did say that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, that's why I'm pulling this up. That's my point.
Well, why did you put it in there?
It was not like that in the spoilers.
Oh, this was okay. You said this before. I was gonna say, like, I thought you were like, wait a minute. You set these guys up, like,
not that
because, like, how would they know that? In other
no, just like verbatim in the canon or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, Moegi, she's a tree. She wants to eat you, by the way. Oh, and Sasuke, he's a tree too.
Like Master Sasuke.
And it's not, there's no way I'm just forgetting it, because that's too hard to forget. That's like a Sarada Uchiha, she's my target kind of moment. But then again, we did talk about that Kamui, but like they didn't include it like this.
They also said that Sarada is being targeted. So, like, I mean, does it really matter who's well, I guess no, you can prepare for his jutsu if you know who he is.
Oh,
but they said who it was.
This said.
Oh god, Kamui's actually looking it up. Kamui, stop holding me accountable. They're gonna say like Sasuke might be a tree or something. He's gonna be like, oh, they did say it, Oodie. They just reversed the words.
This was 5 days ago. And the chapter came out way more than 5 days ago. So why did you put that in there?
Well, because again, I scheduled these in advance.
The spoilers on my laptop.
Oh, okay, you scheduled it.
Yeah.
Dang, you see, Ood, I'd be thinking you guys be moving sporadic, but nah, you have a battle IQ of 1,000 ducks or something. Because I didn't know you had this pre-scheduled.
I do move sporadically. It's just I schedule sporadically in my movements, as well as my days.
Nani?
Anyways, it's talking about scheduling. Did you know that we are scheduled pretty much through December? Through the end of the year, we have 3 videos a day. Not through December. It's like through half December, but I'm working on it.
Wait, a day?
Yeah, like every day. 3 videos, yeah.
Oh my god. Holy, I need to step my game up.
Here, let's just be specific here. So, in terms of scheduled videos, we have 164 currently scheduled. And in terms of videos that
live streams
don't have, these are from the live stream. In terms of videos we don't have scheduled but are planning to schedule, it's less than 192 because probably like let's just say 100, just to make it as even as possible.
Okay.
So, yeah,
by the way, you guys are gonna teach me at some point how to schedule a stream, because I tried it and it doesn't work for me. I might just have low IQ though. Who knows?
Create, go live, schedule stream.
Yeah, but when I go to actually start it, it doesn't let me.
Oh, OBS.
It's like you have to,
and you press the button, and then you press the button here, and you choose it.
So you just go live.
Yeah.
Like in OBS, it's automatically going to queue that one that you have scheduled. So what if I have one scheduled? And
no,
I have
not automatically.
Like,
not automatically. You press the go live, and then you press the button here, and then it drop downs the menu, and you can choose it from there. Okay, so JJK, Kamui, you take it away, because I don't have a freaking clue where we're starting.
Okay, well, I figured the best way to start would
Yeah.
be just to have Chaos give general thoughts about the series.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah, now that it's
no, real quick, it would be helpful if I'm going to give an example that you may or may not use. That's not really the point, but to give some insight to what you're saying without spoiling, if you're referring to ending stuff. Just
I mean, yeah, I could go shower now if that's the idea.
Work actually, then you can be as specific as you want.
Okay.
I love night showers.
And so Kamui, by the way, before I go to shower, you are kind of like staticky. King of Chaos is out on your end as well, for Kamui's staticiness.
Yeah, I hear it a little bit. I wasn't sure if that was just me, so I was gonna read.
I'm like walking. I'm like making a bowl of yogurt right now, so I don't know.
You're good.
Maybe you're just
but I shouldn't be. I don't know.
You're solid now.
The international date line, you're probably crossing that or something. Huh?
I was upstairs for a minute looking for something like really far away, so that could have been part of it.
You're probably fine. I just want to make sure it's good before I go, assuming that I go now.
You're solid.
Okay, so is that the plan? I'll do that now, and then you guys talk about the ending.
Okay, yeah. So I can talk full spoilers then.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, that's why.
Have fun.
Okay, perfect.
Just
what
I'm thinking.
What I'm thinking we can do. Yeah, I'll send you a message.
Okay.
So what we can do is first you can just give it overall thoughts, and then you can break it down into like maybe the movie, then the first half, which is up until end of Shibuya,
yeah.
And
talk
then the second half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that a lot. Actually. Okay. So overall, JJK is a good story that had an ending that I thought was unexpected, but overall, I think it tied together. It was an ending. It was an ending that I think tied together a lot of the stories, questions. It left some things open-ended, but a lot of anime does, a lot of manga does, so I'm not like too sad about it. Overall, if I had to give it a ranking, I'd honestly probably give it about a 9. I think it's up there with Attack on Titan. And for me, I don't know if the ending could have given it more points than a 9. Honestly, I don't think it could have changed too much for me to be like, wow, this is what would have made it a 10. Like, I don't think there was anything that could have made it a 10 for me personally. I think it was good. I think it had some flaws in general, which is Gojo's writing, the way Gege like made him the best, but then wrote him out for huge chunks of it. And then I feel like part of his legend is, well, not legend, but part of the glaze from Gojo is a little misconstrued because he was gone for a lot of the parts of the story where he was needed. And that's, kind of bad. But yeah, overall, I like the story. Now, let me talk about my old, like the sections on it. So starting with the movie, I love Yuta. I love the movie. I love Yuta. If Yuta was the main character.
Okay, you're good. I'm not going to spoil something before you say anything more. The rest of the stream is largely like a rewrite focus conversation. We're not going to get to all of it today, but there's kind of like
you have a rewrite schedule section. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to do multiple streams on this, but there's gonna be 3 to 4 main sections, and I'm just gonna say right now, you are at least going to love the first 2 parts. I already can tell because you like Yuta, you will love the first 2 parts.
All right, cool. Well, then here's what I'll say. I think if Yuta was the main character, I might have made it a 10. But starting off, I think watching the movie, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I really appreciated how Yuta was really written to be, this tragic hero. But like but Maki's relationship, all their relationship with him of like, hey, you're the strong, crazy guy here. Quit acting like, you have anything to be sad about. I appreciated Maki's mannerisms. I like the fact we got to see a class before Gojo, with Kakashi and Naruto. One of the reasons I had is like Kakashi didn't have any other students before Team 7. But he's basically considered to be, by a lot of people, one of the best teachers in Shonen, and one of the best senseis. I don't really agree with that, because he wasn't really there. He didn't really teach Naruto, whereas this, we got to see him teaching Yuta. We got to see his involvement with Maki and how he had, taught them, turns out Maki doesn't have any blah, 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 so she had to learn this. She had to train this. Giving them all different routes. Seeing Yuta's connections and, build up with the previous generation of Gojo's class, his students. I like that. I like to see him and Geto's relationship. I love to see Gojo's personification as the strongest. I like that we also got to see that Gojo is serious and that he's going to do what he needs to as the sorcerer, the guy who's going to kill his best friend. He's not pulling any of these, shonen cliches of, oh, you're my friend, I won't kill you, I got to bring you back. I love that. I love the hand-to-hand combat. It was overall good. I do think Geto was wasted a little bit.
Oh my god, you're gonna love our rewrites, bro.
I do think Geto was kind of wasted because he was like, I don't know, bro. Like he was kind of
best villain in the story, bro.
Right?
You're gonna love our rewrites.
He had so much potential, bro. So much.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I'm glad that I chose you for this.
Well, I like JJK, but like there's just so many parts of it I feel like they could have done better on. Like writing Gojo out isn't a problem. But if that's the case, kill him earlier then. Build the suspension and the fear of dread way early if that's the case. Like don't even seal him. But I'll get to that later. So that's what I thought of the movie. I thought the ending was fine. I really thought Geto was wasted and killing him off kind of defeats the whole purpose. And kind of kills the hype, but it's okay. Technically speaking, I probably should have started in the flashback arc before the movie, but I'll then go into the first season, then the flashback arc, because technically speaking, the flashback happened. All that supposedly happens when Gojo sees Geto in that 1 second. But whatever. Sorry, I really hate that moment too. So next up, the first season. First season, pretty cool. I think Yuji had a very slow start, and I don't like him as an MC. I'm just gonna spoil it for everyone. Don't like him. I think he's milquetoast. He's boring.
You're gonna love the stream.
My wife loves him because he's sweet and nice. I don't think he's bad. Like I don't hate the guy. Like he's cool. I'd hang out. Yuji would be my friend, but he doesn't excite me. I don't think, wow, Yuji's here. Everything's gonna change. When Naruto pulled up with the same on them toads, you're like, all right, something's happening. When Naruto pulled up, even to help Sasuke against Haku, you're like, all right, we got something. But when Yuji pulls up,
I'm so excited now.
All you're thinking is, you are my special. He's gonna box somebody. And as you're gonna see later on with me, another issue I don't like about Yuji is that he can't win 1v1s. And I don't respect MCs that don't win 1v1s. I don't care what any excuses are. They gotta be able to win a 1v1. They got to. They've got to. So first season was good. Kinda, I mean, Sukuna was introduced as a big baddie. I appreciated that. That was cool. Yuji just didn't do it for me. I think the best part of the first season for me, honestly, was the hype around Megami and his potential, because everyone was like, what's he doing? And no one really understood what was going on. I think the moments where Yuji's got a lot better and the story got more hype was when Todo got introduced.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, most of the story for me
infinitely better just having Todo around.
Yeah, because it's like he has like, I don't know, Todo's not like him, but he's like him,
Well, I mean, there's two things. One is that, okay, no, Oodie disagrees. Oodie doesn't, I don't know if it's a troll just to make me mad, but as far as I'm aware, Oodie doesn't like Todo. We don't need to talk about it later, but to me, not only is Todo hilarious, like, he brought the charisma to the dynamic that made it funny on both ends when Yuji's, like, trying to get away from him in his goofy way while Todo's trying to, be his friend in the goofy way. And then like, the Mahito stuff, in the Hanami fight, Todo's just fucking cool in those fights. Like,
yeah, he's chilling.
Like he like makes the moments.
Yeah, it's like if you mix Yuji and Todo, they'd make a good MC. Together, they equal one good MC.
Todo should just be the MC.
Honestly,
no, he should.
Honestly, I kind of like that because Boogie Woogie. I'll say that for later.
It would be funny. It would be pretty funny though.
Yuji's just so milquetoast for me, so bland.
You're gonna love this rewrite, bro. I love that
we got to see them focus more on like the physicality things, but I don't like that Yuji never really developed his curse technique at all. He's just a brawler, like, and they're like, oh, he's so good, he could beat us all, if we don't use curse techniques. And it's like, okay, like it doesn't really give me the same flair. He has no real inspiration. He just wants to die a good death or something. And I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I didn't find like it, but Sukuna's hype around him. He was built up quite well. I appreciated Sukuna. So like I thought it was good. I thought Gojo was presented well as the strongest. I liked the hype around Yuji being destined to die was good. I liked all that. Although no one ever thinks MC's gonna die. So I thought that the stakes. Keep in mind, at this time, this is when I thought that this is when Gege said that the whole either one person's gonna die or all gonna die, or no one's gonna die type deal. So keep that in mind too with some of those opinions. Then, if it's my opinion now in hindsight, overall, I give it a B. Now, on to the flashback. I personally think the flashback is the best part of the anime so far, hands down. Even better than the Shibuya incident. And here's why.
I feel like we have 99% the same opinion of JJK so far.
Oh, that is...
Continue.
You know what's crazy? I think a lot of people do, because like we got to see a Gojo that wasn't just one. We got to see a Gojo that Gege wasn't afraid to play with, you know, because he's not just immortal, he's not just broken. We got to see a Gojo that, you know, cocky, arrogant, hype. I like that. We got good build up, and I really appreciated him and Geto's dynamic. The whole thing where Gojo was like 1 second from becoming Geto, and Geto had to stop him. But then the whole thing with the kids, and Geto's like, wait a minute, you guys have kids in cages. He's like, all right, that's it. That's just enough. It's up for everybody. It's like, have you watched Rob So Petty's like abridged version of it? That's really kind of how I looked at it. He's like, all right, you guys got kids in cages. You're torturing children. That's it. Oh, and Toji was so cool as a villain, as an antagonist. So good as an antagonist.
Oodie kills me, dude. Like I said, I don't know if it's a troll, but he's always dissing Toji in front of me when he knows I love him. Like I said, I don't know if it's just a troll, but Toji's the best, bro.
That's just because we know how strong Gojo is now, and it's like Toji doesn't compare to the other cast. But keep in mind, Toji, he's an assassin. His goal wasn't to kill Gojo. His goal was to assassinate the Star Plasma Vessel. You know, if he was going to assassinate Gojo, he might have taken things differently. His whole goal at the end of the day was to take the girl. He probably would have delivered Gojo's body on a pike. Now, granted, he got cocky and all that jazz and whatever, but I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, if his goal was to kill Gojo, though, he would have succeeded because he would have like chopped off his head the first time instead of just leaving.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. He would have finished the job, but his goal wasn't Gojo. His goal was the Star Plasma Vessel. That's why he brought her body back. He didn't just shoot her and run. He even stayed to beat up Geto and didn't kill him because he's like, I don't need to kill you because, you know, we don't want these crazy demons going everywhere. But he brought her body back as confirmation. Like, I mean, I'm just saying there. If that situation was reversed, they say bring us Satoru Gojo's body. They cut off his head because Limitless, just in case. Like he confirms the kill. You know, like any good assassin would. So I think that's the best part of it. The only thing I hate, only critique, is that this is all alleged to take place within that 1 second where Gojo sees Geto.
So I actually didn't know that was supposed to be the thing. I thought it just was a random flashback.
No, so remember when he pauses and sees him?
Yeah, I know that. I just didn't interpret it as like that's when that I know he has those flashbacks in that minute. I didn't realize though that we were supposed to say, oh, the flashback we saw earlier is actually taking place here. I thought it was just like they showed us a flashback and then he just saw the quick flashback and we just knew what it was.
And that's how people justify the whole weirdness when they're like, oh, remember because they said that it needed a whole minute or something like that for Prison Realm to go through, right? But it was only like a second. But it said, but for Gojo Satoru, a minute had passed because in that in his head type deal because of infinity, blah blah blah. That's why he was perceiving all that fast. He's basically going through that whole little his last moments of Geto there, and that's why he was able to get sealed. And I hate that crap writing. Gojo getting sealed there does not make sense. He has infinity. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I don't care about the time frame of it. It was 1 second or what, but infinity caught. No, just no. There's no binding vows that were placed on it. There's no cursed technique unless you go back and say that, you know, Kenjaku suddenly has a cursed technique that actually applies there. It doesn't make sense. It's crap. It's an asshole. It's an actual asshole.
Yeah, I don't remember how we discussed in the past, but that's a scene that we've at least talked about we would rewrite just to make it a little bit more
you could just say he was out of energy.
Realistic.
He uses his domain expansion and he couldn't use his cursed energy. Bam, you're good. He's out of his domain expansion. He can't use his cursed techniques because he had to use it to wipe them all out at the same time. And because he used it on 3 heavy-duty cursed spirits, it cost him a lot. Whatever. Like, but don't do that. Don't discredit him as the strongest and say that he just got caught lacking. Like, no. In a home, he pauses for a minute. He killed him. He killed his man, bruh. Like, what do you mean? He's the one who finished the dude. That doesn't even make sense. He wouldn't have paused there either. It's not on theme for him, and we see that later on when he literally tells, because I can talk about the manga too, obviously, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's actually
cool.
the part
he literally
that Oodie needs to be gone for.
Cool.
So technically, he could be here for this, but whatever.
Perfect. No, he literally even says about, you don't want to hurt your student. He's like, I'll worry about that later after I kill you. He says that to Sukuna about Megami, his adoptive son. So he's willing to pack up Megami, F you Megami. But he hesitates for the dude he already murdered, who he thinks is already dead, who he then says immediately to himself, there's no way you could be alive. I don't care what I'm seeing. That, it just doesn't make sense to me. So that kind of, the Shibuya arc, other than that, oh, fantastic. Great writing. I love Nanami's thing. I love Mahito's ending. It doesn't really make, his transformation kind of confuses me. Plus the way that, like, I mean, I'm okay with how he went out because it makes sense because he's a coward by nature. I just don't, the whole I am you thing, it just seems like fan service to give Yuji more debt that he doesn't really have because he then goes back to.
It's another thing that we're changing this rewrite. Don't you worry.
Well, yeah, because he's like, I am you, but then he goes back to like this whole crusade. I hate curses. Like 5 minutes later. Which is it? Make up your mind. Like, do you consider them less than like do you understand their goals and reasonings, but you're still gonna fight them as like oppositional forces just out of like
I don't like the I am you thing as it is. I'm not. I agree because
I find it corny.
It doesn't even make sense. Just as like the best you guys. Well, just as I kill people without a second thought, you save people without a second thought. Bro, that ain't you being the same. That's opposite at best. It's just like completely different.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like
Mahito, you're not saving curses without a second thought.
Yeah,
you're
he's
killing
not.
people.
Exactly.
It's not like if Mahito said, just as I kill people without a second thought, you kill curses without a second thought, that would make sense. But like, kill versus no, it's opposite.
And it's not like he's, Mahi doesn't care about the other cursed spirits in the sense of like, remember when like they're like, I don't want to kill, I want to save Yuji because we need Sukuna, and he's like, well, I want to kill Yuji. He's not. It's not like he's out here like working with these people like they're his buddies. Like they just happen to have interests that align, and he just doesn't want. They're not enemies. I wouldn't even consider them friends. Like him and Jogo and all them. Like he's goofy and friendly, but
friends.
I don't think so, man.
But Mahito's selfish, and he doesn't like. He's like, I'm friends with you, Jogo, but like, I want to do it my way, so I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Would he kill Jogo?
Only if he really needed to, he probably would. But otherwise, I don't think he would be going around like. I don't think he would want to.
If Jogo was gonna, if he could absorb Jogo and become stronger, the same way he could transmogrify humans, make his ability apply on curses too. Do you think he doesn't transform all of his buddies and become like the leader and just make them all his little henchmen? I do. I think he straight up like forces all of them into subjugation and packs them. If he can like turn curses the same way he can turn humans, I really do, with no hesitation.
I think maybe opportunistically, like he's pushed into a state where he needs to do it, but I don't think he's just gonna randomly do it on them because like they're friendly with each other.
I consider it like Kimberly and Pride from Full Metal Alchemist. Like Kimberly,
well, I haven't seen it, but
okay, well, basically Pride absorbed him, and it wasn't because he was mad. He's like, look, I need more power. You got more power. It is what it is. Like it wasn't like on the beef stuff, but that's kind of why. But hey, I could also see that maybe he just, maybe they are homies. Who knows? But it doesn't seem like he's not championing curses. He wants to hurt people, like you said. He's not trying to help anyone. He wants to hurt as many humans and sorcerers as possible.
He just wants to be a curse.
Exactly. Whereas Yuji wants to help people and have people live a good life. If Yuji could do that without being a Jujutsu sorcerer, he would. Mahito, I think he would still want people to suffer, no matter what, basically, because that's just kind of how he is, as a curse. I mean, it's in his nature, I feel. Let's see, what else is there? Nanami getting packed off. I hated that, but I honestly like the fact that Gege lets characters die. I do.
Yeah. Well, some anyway, but
I like. Well, yeah. But I 1 second. But no, I like the way that some people can die. I think that's cool. But other than that, I think the arc was the conclusion of the whole Jujutsu world basically saying, hey, the strongest guy, we're just gonna leave him, knowing that he can't be reincarnated, makes no sense. even let's just say,
Bro, that whole thing was so. I'm sorry. It was the whole. Oh, Gojo must have been an accomplice. That was the most nonsensical thing for them to think.
No, they didn't even think that. They just labeled him as that. And they did that because they wanted him to get in trouble, which is fine if it's on some take over the world thing. But here's the thing. They need the power of the Gojo clan. Gojo isn't just strong. He is strength. They need him. It's not optional. He's still, regardless of how much crap they have on it, like he gives them, he obeys. They're not going to be able to beat Sukuna. And you can't have another Gojo Six Eyes user be born until the other one dies. Gojo wasn't dead in there. He's sealed. Sealed, which means they will never have another Six Eyes user. There's no universe they would do that. They need him. They'd sooner kill him. Like, go in there and, like, destroy the item than let him stay in there because they can never have that power again. It just doesn't make sense from a political move as far as, like, what the households did. So that, I don't know. I didn't get that ending approach, but I like the transition. Now, I'm gonna breeze through the culling arc because that whole thing to me is a mess, and the rules on it are so complicated that I mean I won't. The rules make no sense. I'm not gonna justify it. They don't. I'll go into it. We could do a deep dive someday on that if anybody wants to. But I don't think the culling game rules make sense, and we see that in the end when Sukuna's alive, and this weird fact that the culling games are still going on right now. Spoilers at the end of the manga. Even though the series is over and it's still happening, the culling games isn't over even right now, and Sukuna is dead. So, what? I like that Yuji got hunted down by Yuta and they found a way to incorporate him in. I like Yuta's switch up, and I like the fact that we got another arc where we focus on the students. And it really built upon them. Still don't like the fact that Yuji doesn't have a curse technique. Hate that. I feel like Yuji's really boring in this arc. I like Megami's progression. I like the fact he got to use his domain expansion again against a couple people. We got to see Maki, Yuta, all these people fight. Maki and the Zenin clan, that massacre, all that, I'm just going to say all that stuff, cash money. Sukuna taking over Megami's body, I will lie. That was some good writing to me.
I like that scene.
But I got one issue. There's no universe on this planet where you can tell me shoving a finger down someone's... using a pressure point to knock someone unconscious isn't harm.
I know. Like he dislocated her shoulder and he broke the binding vow and no consequences.
Well, they're saying he didn't do it because, and this is why I really hate Twitter. That's something else. I really hate Twitter. I don't think Twitter or its users are people. Sorry. But like, I mean it. Twitter is just awful because they love their technicalities. It's like, well, technically he used a pressure point. It didn't cause her physical pain. I'm like, harm and pain aren't the same thing. If I hold your throat, my hand around your throat till you go to sleep and it doesn't hurt, but you lose consciousness, that's harm. If I push you and you take no damage, I still consider that harm. Like, it's not about you feeling pain. Because what if he gave them all numbing agent and killed them in their sleep? So that I didn't get. That part made no sense. Yuji being able to hang with Sukuna makes no sense. When Sukuna punched him through the wall, even with Megami's suppression stuff, Sukuna should have been able to kill Yuji. Yuji should have been dead the instant Megami's body was taken over. They should have been dead. And the fact that he couldn't beat them or they don't scale high enough at that point. Maki doesn't scale high enough. I don't believe she had finished her training with the sumo guy to justify her being able to hang with a Sukuna there. And if she did, how did she get much stronger between then and like when they fight at the end of the series? Because there's a month between then and Christmas. Because they settle things on Geto's death day, Christmas and everything. But there's a month between there. And how did she get strong enough between then when she has no cursed energy? Because again, she's a heavenly binded restricted person to be able to hang now. So again, the harm the verbiage on harm is very interesting to me. I find it very choice at best. What else?
I mean, honestly, I never understood what he did here. I'm guessing like a data book or something explains this because it looked like he twisted her head the way it's done. Not that he like pushed a pressure point.
It was like from what I saw, it looked like he took it and like, I thought he had a finger and like jabbed, like gave her a little chop on the side.
Yeah, I guess like when I first saw this panel though, I just thought he like twisted her head.
Which is still harm. I can't see your screen. I see the Streamlab thing up right now.
Yeah, that's Oodie's doing it. But regardless, it does. It's chapter 212. But
So yeah,
I don't know. I still think it should. Like he's like, I cut a binding vow with the boy to not kill or hurt anyone for 1 minute. I just feel like it's a little bit unfair to say that's not
he
hurting.
broke it. Yeah, no, he broke it. In my opinion, like clearly he broke it. And anybody who says he didn't, I mean, they're definitely not watching the same series. They're watching Jujutsu Kaisen or something. Because if you walk up to my wifey poo and you chop her, we're boxing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're throwing hands. Because, and I dare you to tell me, oh, I ain't harm her, bro. Like, what? Imagine saying that out loud to somebody. Like, I didn't hit her. You walk up to somebody, you just chop them.
Knock him out.
Kid.
I didn't hurt him.
Nice kid. Chop. Well, I didn't hit him. What? Nah. All right, now, and this is the key one here. Gojo versus Sukuna. Let me just start off by saying I hate the community's response on this whole fight because everyone said Gojo was gonna win. Everyone, all of the big streamers, all of the ones. I won't drop any names because I'm on your channel right now.
That makes sense though.
But like, and I knew he couldn't win. Because the second, you and I knew he was going to lose the second he said he didn't have a problem killing Megami. Because I knew he meant it. And I'm like, Megami's not going to die here. Gege has to bring him back. Like, he has to have some party again here. Gojo can't beat him because he can't kill Megami. I'm like, that the second he said that, I'm like, yep, Gojo's going to die. I knew that. That being said, I genuinely believed Gojo was coming back, 100%. And I was wrong. I was right, but I was wrong.
Oh, you want to know what my funny Twitter theory I posted was for this? So, you know how Principal Yaga can, like, quote unquote, bring people back with his cursed corpse thing? I said, watch Yuta copy that technique and bring Gojo back.
Dude,
by merging Sukuna, Gojo, and Geijo's souls or something.
Oh my god, something. You see that? No, that would have been hilarious.
It was a joke theory, but I'm like, that technically could work.
Something goofy like that could happen. Like, oh, Gojo copied the reincarnation technique through his body. They didn't burn his body, which, by the way, I just want to point out, they said they burned what's his face body. I don't think they said they burned Gojo's body. And they didn't have a funeral for him either, so I'm just gonna say that and not say anything else. And we all know, and she literally said that, like, yeah, I should have burned Geto's body to prevent this whole nonsense. But again, no funeral for Gojo. Didn't say he burned his body. I'm just gonna say that. But the fight, yeah, I think that it's crap. Gojo didn't win. I'm just saying that the Infinite Void, Maharaga adapting to him while inside there, fine, cool. But it adapting because it saw it in Yuji. He didn't have Maharaga. He didn't have Maharaga then. How can he adapt off of his memories? That's ass. And if he can adapt off of his memories, and that is how they present. They're like, oh, I saw it inside of the boy's body, and he could blah 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 blah. That's how Maharaga has immunity. And it's like, no, that makes no sense. He should have immunity to every one of his techniques he saw. He saw Hollow Purple, it flew right past Yuji. Toto told his ass to move. What's the difference there? How come he can't just adapt to Red and Blue then, if that's the case? Or Hollow Purple, if he can adapt to it? I need an answer for that, because that makes no sense to me. Secondly, that 200% Hollow Purple should have killed him. I don't care what anyone says, because you're not supposed to be able to defend against it. It's just that simple. You're not supposed to be able to defend against it, bruh. Like, it's armor piercing, like they say, it's armor piercing, and it has no defense because it separates, positive, negative, 0, whatever. So you're not supposed to be able to defend for it. But Sukuna, he defended from that one. Yet he couldn't defend from the AoE one. Well, and he did, but like he took more damage from. Look, I say this. I think that Gege is getting the same treatment, and I know Bleach fans are gonna. If there are any Bleach fans here, I think he's getting the same treatment. I think Gege's sick, because I remember there was some time happening where he was sick, and they had said that, like,
yeah, he had his appendix taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like some Twitter comments about it.
Mm-hmm, exactly, and so I think that's what happened. I think he got sick. And then at that point they're like, okay, well, I don't want the story not to continue in case things could go bad. I need some time to recover, so the best option for that, you just continue the story, but you continue it by finishing it. Now, I don't like the ending, and I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think most people.
I don't like it either.
I don't
I
like
like
it.
a couple of elements of it, but for
yeah.
the most part, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't.
The
like,
last arc is the worst arc.
Agreed. And here's the thing: I don't mind in the sense of like I wanted to. Again, the ending. No ending could have made that a 10 for me. I think that a better beginning could have made it a 10 for me, but I just don't like the explanation on Sukuna's abilities, because it's like basically he's saying that Sukuna. Also, the whole thing where it's like high end form Sukuna could beat Gojo. Why the hell did he need 10 shadows? Just reincarnating Yuji's body. Get the damn weapon.
But
reincarnate there.
Kashimo, we gotta just delete Kashimo.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, delete
Wait.
Kashimo and Hakari from the story, and then you don't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
They're not.
And then, no, the Hakari fight. I'm disappointed by that.
Hakari versus Kashimo is one of the coolest, arguably the coolest fight in the story, but they're the most useless characters.
I mean, I'm talking about the Hakari versus Urarame. That.
Oh
fight.
my God, dude, it's the biggest wasted opportunity ever, bro.
Just delete it. Just delete that fight from it because you didn't show us it. And now every manga fanatics can say it's not canon to the manga, so that fight and feats from there didn't happen. And I just like it's wasteful. It's wasteful. You know, we got the Kenjaku fight settled. Cool. I'm happy. Well, we thought we got it settled. But no, I genuinely that needs to be erased. But Gojo should have won that, or if he couldn't have won that, at least have Sukuna go to high end form for him, and then kill him that way. Say that he needed his high end form, and then they jumped him. Like that would have made me happier. The way he lost is the biggest problem. I know he couldn't have won, but like they could have done.
There's a lot of tricky stuff with it because I understand what they're going for with the whole. They set up the whole. Oh, the former 10 Shadows user versus the former Infinity user once clashed in a death battle thing. It's like, yeah, that's why they wanted to do that there. I get it. I don't know where else you would do it. But it's just like a tricky. I feel like they just kind of like, no matter what, you're going to lose in some way. Because if you don't cash in on that, it's like, okay, that's that kind of a shitty.
Yeah, I love Maharaga. I love Maharaga as a concept. No, I won't lie. I thought Maharaga was cool conceptually. I think that like giving potential man Megami an opportunity to really just like show that hey, he could be whatever he wants is crazy good. But we could have skipped out on the Kairi and Urame. I think Kashimo's a cool addition if you're gonna like actually let him fight against Sukuna. But I think Gojo should have won. Or has this? I think Hakari should have done like interrupted somewhere in there. Like, well. First off, forget one-on-ones. I'm just gonna, forget one-on-ones.
I don't think there's any way to, honestly, I feel like it was doomed from the start. I don't think there is any way to write that Shinjuku arc. From the way it left off with the Culling Games, so the Culling Games has already happened, that arc. Once you start the Shinjuku arc, I don't think there was any way, off the top of my head at least, to make it perfect. No matter what, there is going to be something that you're like, that kind of sucks. I just feel like something was going to go wrong somewhere. I feel like they're already doomed for failure.
I agree. Or we all can. Sorry, I had to send something, but no. So, okay. Also, here's something else. The big thing. Well, let me address you. Yuta's fight was cool. Yuta and I liked the whole thing with Tabata or whatever his name was. The
Takaba and Kenjaku. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that was cool. That was fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with how it ended because it's like big boy. I consider Yuta like the Trunks of the crew. Like he comes in, he's on business. He just wants to destroy everyone. He's not waiting. He doesn't want anyone to be strongest. He doesn't care about proving he's the strongest. He just wants to win. I like that. Now that that's the way, and this is gonna be a reoccurring theme with all of you. So I was going to spoil everyone. If you're going to get bored here, I'm sorry. Yuji should be dead. Yuji should be dead. There's no business where he should have survived any of this. Everyone else gets packed up, but he lives. It does not make sense. So, Hagarumo.
Actually, in the end, everyone lived except for Gojo.
No, I'm talking about like getting knocked out of the fight. Yuji makes no sense being there because guess what? His curse technique is Sukuna's. That's all he has. Even to this day, his only curse technique is Sukuna's. That's what he has. That's his ability.
It's worse than Sukuna's.
It is, and it's not even a good version. It's a version that's specifically good at splitting souls. He doesn't have the destructive capabilities nor the.
No, honestly,
the
I hated
power.
that whole thing. Not gonna lie,
I do.
I didn't really like it much in the Mahito fight, but I was willing to accept it then. But by the end of the Shinjuku arc, I just didn't like it. I think I would have preferred that like Yuji's latent ability had to do with souls like Mahito, and that's just why this worked. Would have been cool. It's just the whole he understands the contours of his soul because Sukuna was inside. I know that's just the most boring way. It's just so. I did not like it.
And not only that, but he also gets they also gave him reverse curse technique, bro. They're like, he gets, not only does he have the abilities, but he's also naturally better at reverse curse technique than most people because Sukuna was in Sukuna's body, and I'm like, or Sukuna was in his body. I'm like, all right, so he gets everything. He gets everything. Like he has no weaknesses then, none. No downsides.
And he had none of this while Sukuna was around too.
Exactly. So that's one problem for me. Yuji's not stronger than most of the people there, and he shouldn't have been able to outlast most of them. Nor does he have more experience than most of them. So that doesn't make sense. And here's my bigger gripe. I lied. In some single category, in some way, it seems like every single character is getting some way where they're being told that they're surpassing Gojo. Here's where it starts. Hikairi, when he fights Gojo, when he's fighting Urame. And when it comes to regeneration, he or reverse curse technique, he surpasses the likes of even Sukuna-sama and Gojo. Urame said that. Yusuba versus Kenjaku, when it comes to pure potential, he surpasses that of Gojo and Sukuna. That was stated by Kenjaku. Who else says it? Then we've got Hagoromo being stated to surpass Gojo and raw future potential by Sukuna. Then you have Yuta to be stated as having more cursed energy than Sukuna. I mean, than Gojo. And it's like, okay, so you hype up Gojo for the longest time as the strongest, but now that he's gone, everyone has surpassed him in some category. Basically, he's been like, he was in first place in everything. Now he's second place in everything. Still, so just enough to where it's like, he's still the best overall, but like he's second best at everything. But he's not,
his whole thing
he's dead.
Was always that, like, for example, with speed, what's his face? Naobito was the fastest. Well, if you don't count Gojo, who's actually the fastest. That's how it always, like, and I feel like it should have stayed that way. Like, Hakari is the second best at regen. Hikaruma would be the second most talented. Like, if you did it that way, it's like, okay, so they're all like comparable. Versus they're all better than him in that one category. It's like, well, that wasn't the point. The point was you could say next generation surpasses the last, blah, blah, blah. Sure. Bro, Sukuna's been the strongest for all the generations.
And that's why it doesn't work, because Gojo isn't even because he's dead. He's not even the strongest. Because he's not alive. So it's like you basically made him, he's the second best ever. So he's the number one draft pick because he's number two at everything. But he's not, because he's dead. So like he doesn't even fill that role. That really bothered me, because you basically took Gojo's character and you said it was worthless. Gege really didn't like this MFer. I could tell. And I know he makes it hard to write a story, but you need a guy who's overpowered like that. And you didn't want to make Yuji that guy. You didn't want to make Yuji Jesus. Cool. So Gojo had to beat him. Above heaven and hell, he's the honored one. So, ending wise, very weird pacing. It seemed like Sukuna just lost out of nowhere. Honestly, like it seemed like he was winning. Because look at all the time, everything they threw at him. Also, the Executioner's Blade not killing him. What? Because he cut off his hand. Are we even gonna pretend that we're really gonna let that slide? We're gonna let Gege have that one. I feel like Oda and Gege get more liberty than any other mangaka, because let Taite Kubo or Masashi Kishimoto do that for Boruto, saying like, oh yeah, he just survived because he did. All the people that we thought died, it'd be awful. It'd be horrible writing, L story, uninstall, blah 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 blah. But because Gege's doing it, it's cash money. I don't know.
The thing that annoyed me with the Sukuna thing is, like, so first of all, I get the concept, but like they really had they dragged out this fight for so long with a bunch of characters that just it was so random to just bring them in now. Like, for example, okay, one of the Miguel and LaRue, I thought it was cool because I wanted to know. Like, I wanted to see LaRue do something, because he had a couple early moments and references where I'm like, when is this dude gonna get involved? So I was glad on that end, but it's also like, this is so random, guys. Like, what? Like, you do this with all these random ass fights here and there, again and again and again and again, and it's gonna just down all of a sudden instantly. It's like, you could say, oh, well, he was progressively losing the whole time. I know, it just feels so weird.
No, because it seemed like we were going 200 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour. Stop. He lost. And it's like, because Yuji's victory on him just didn't like it. I mean, Noobara commit. So Noobara could have just one-shot him this whole time. Is that what you're saying?
Have to wake up.
Okay.
Here's another thing about Noobara.
Wait.
It's just like
before that, because I gotta address this. If she can one-shot him, why didn't they do this all this time? What have they been waiting on?
Wake her up.
No, forget waking her up. When you have his fingers and everything, let her hammer weight them now. Let her destroy them now. Like, if she can destroy his soul and like deal damage to his soul, have her wail on his fingers to keep him suppressed. Like do something. Like, what do you mean? Like she can attack directly to his soul. She has such an overpowered ability, which was not portrayed like that beginning. Why doesn't she just go in there and start wailing on the fingers now? Why did they wait this long? They could have had him manifest at 15 fingers and done it. It's like they wanted him to get stronger. And then Yuji's whole thing of trying why is no one mad about that? Naruto did that stuff with Obito, and everyone had his head. Tokno Jutsu. What's the difference?
Yeah, but Naruto's made sense. See, okay, real quick about Noobara. I can understand if you wanted to frame this as, oh, well, Yuji had to think Noobara was dead, so that way Sukuna wouldn't know. Bro, in the context that Megumi was operating under, he's just talking to Yuji about Noobara, and he's like, oh, about Noobara, and then Yuji's just like, I get it! And it's like, what do you get? Do you think she's dead or alive? What is this reaction? This doesn't feel like a reaction to her being dead or being alive. It's a weird reaction regardless. And then
what about
Megumi? Alive. It's just so weird.
Plus, Megumi's like, did Megumi not know? And if that's the case, shouldn't Sukuna know? Because of the whole soul thingy, since Megumi's currently being possessed by who? Sukuna.
Yeah, so if Megumi doesn't know, it's just a weird scene. Why doesn't he just say her fate is unclear? Like, why did they word it so weirdly?
Yeah, and the thing is, if Megumi did know, then Sukuna should. That's so. There's that. Like, the ending was just Miguel. Oh, I forgot about the whole Miguel thing. Look, throwing everyone at Sukuna in theory sounds good, but here's the thing: they kept getting packed. And he kept like reverse curse technique refreshes you.
Yeah, he just lands a black flash and it resets everything. And it's just like, Black Flash makes no sense, by the way. It's the most nonsensical plot device you land a Black Flash and magically, got reverse curse technique back. It's so stupid.
You know what I said? Because I misunderstood it. I said originally, I'm like, look, Gojo can hit it. I said Gojo can hit a Black Flash whenever. And someone had to explain to me that I was wrong on that. I'm like, what do you mean? Gojo can slow down the things. He can literally hit a Black Flash whenever you want. And then they explained to me, like, no, he can't. And they explained that because it's more than that. And on that chapter, when they clarified it again, they're like, yeah, I can't hit a Black Flash whenever I want. It takes blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, so atmospheric conditions, the temperature, what you're wearing. What do you mean? So static electricity on my linen affects a Black Flash.
Black Flash is literally just like, that's supposed to be random, but it's not in the story because Yuji lands 800 billion Black Flashes whenever it's convenient, despite how it's supposed to be random. It seems to randomly work perfectly every time.
Yeah. He had 8 in a row, bro. He has the record. Like, he had 8 in a row. I or maybe 9. I think it's at least 8 in a row. And like, I think come on here. It's like that's insane. So overall, Miguel and what's his face didn't need to be there. Also, that that was dumb. Kusaka.
As much as I wanted to see LaRue do something at some point, that was not the time.
And the whole Miguel, the one who rivaled Satoru Gojo. Oh my God! It's like they just want to keep proving my point. It's like you guys won't stop proving my point for me. So everybody rivaled Gojo. We're gonna say Miguel, the guy who got beaten like a drum, rivaled Gojo. All right then. Well, I'm good. You know, like at that point, I'm just good, bro. Because like Gojo they made Gojo seem weak. That's my biggest issue. Like after he died, they basically act like he just wasn't anything, and he wasn't out here just smoking everyone's pack, and that like anyone else loses to him. Because to be technical, the only reason that like Sukuna got him was because he copied Maharaga's blue, which also Sukuna being able to basically copy anyone's technique, Jogo's like fireball thing, and then he makes that one of his like the flame arrow thing. I mean,
well, he just had that by coincidence.
I don't know. Okay, so did he just coincidentally have the blood elephant, the water to make the blood elephant thing the same way Chosen?
That was Megami. He's using Megami's ability there.
Okay, well, what about the world cleaving slash that he copied off of Maharaga and used as a blueprint? You see what I'm saying? Bro,
yeah.
You can't defend all these. You can't. I'll find one. You see what I'm saying? Like he can just.
Also, here's another thing. Actually, you just reminded me of. Speaking of world slash, okay, binding vows was the most wasted thing ever because you know what? You want to know how Sukuna should have lost? I think. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Because not a single binding vow, besides the one we already complained about, was ever broken. Sukuna made like 500 trillion binding vows. I think he should have. I think it would be good if it's strategy to where the whole time they were goading Sukuna into these binding vows, so that way it's like a checkmate to where it's like, I gotcha. Now you have no choice but to break one of your binding vows to get out of this situation. Sukuna would forget because he made 1,000 of them in this fight, and he would break a binding vow, and that's what gives them an opportunity to win. That way they're strategically overcoming the strongest. Because
that would be
bro just never breaks a binding vow. We never see what happens.
Yeah, like that's I mean that is a curious plot point too. Like I kind of want to know what happens if you do. I'm a little curious, like what they gonna do to me? They want
to make the victory feel more earned too.
True. It's like it does seem like they kind of pulled out of nowhere with it. Like I remember Kusakabe was like, "Wait, I'm fighting Sukuna," and I'm like, "All right, so Gege's trolling us here because he knows what we're all thinking at this point. It's like you're just throwing everyone but the kitchen sink at this guy."
Yeah.
And if pure numbers is enough to beat him, then why couldn't 20, Jujutsu, because domain expansions were common back then, remember? And back in the Heian era, the peak of Jujutsu sorcery. If 20 elite level Jujutsu sorcerers couldn't beat him, but these rookie first grades can, then the Heian era is crap. How can it be the peak of Jujutsu sorcery if 20 of them couldn't win?
Bro, the Heian era is the biggest waste ever. We just don't know anything about it like that.
Well, it's wanked. It's like Hiruzen in his prime. You never see it, so it doesn't really matter. You get all this information about how like they're supposed to be this strong people. Everyone had a domain expansion. Kachimo, all these people, whatever. Well, okay, if that's the case, then how come those 20 people are weaker than Maki, Yuji, Yuta, Gojo, and like I mean maybe Gojo? Nah, I just find that ridiculous that 20 special grades couldn't beat him, but these first grades could. But they say the Heian era, the scaling gets confusing. It's like, which is it? Is Heian era the peak, or are we now saying that this era has now surpassed them? Which I'm okay with that too. But say it explicitly. Say it out loud that like, all right, the Heian era was the peak, but
even at the end, like Uraume is being like, if this was the Heian era, Sukuna, you would have lost. You got lucky. It's just
like Master was in his reincarnated body. He's like, don't be happy. You were just you just happened to be born at a perfect time. And I'm like, this is it? This really how we settle in this, huh? All right, I guess.
Or Ruby Glaze till the
end. I guess so.
Okay, I got a couple more. I got more complaints too. I want to get through this so we can finally let Oodie back in for the rewrite topic. But real quick,
those are all my things.
Couple more things. Okay, one, I can understand Sukuna being salty, but I'm just gonna point this out. It is a little bit dumb. So Yuji's like, Sukuna, let's like walk the path of love. Like, let's try this again. Why don't you try living a good person's life, basically? And Sukuna's like, no, I'm a curse, bro. I'm gonna just die. I don't want to do that. Then he goes to the afterlife, and he's just if I could do it again,
maybe
I think I'd go the other way. I'm like, then why didn't you take the opportunity? Uraume was still alive at the time. You could have just lived with Eugene and Uraume on the side. Like, you chose to die, and now you're like, if I could do it again, you could have done it again, bro.
No, Uraume was dead at that point. Wait, no, if Sukuna...
No, Uraume died after Sukuna died, because then he was like, all right, he's dead. I better go die too.
Oh, yeah, he smoked his own pack. No, she smoked her own pack. Yes, Uraume was a girl.
Well, or actually, this got confirmed apparently. I saw this like gay comments stuff. So Uraume was a boy, but he was reincarnated inside a girl.
Really?
That's what the deal was. That's what the deal was there.
Oh, I love Sukuna being inclusive, but yeah, honestly, that made no sense to me either. He's like, okay, I guess.
Why'd you switch up?
Yeah, it's like it's like, hold up, you're saying that you're good, like I'm still a curse, but then Timmy's like, yeah, of course I got soft, I lost. I don't know.
I'm fine with him having like it's. Part of me likes the ending with the Mahito conversation. I'm glad they brought Mahito back. By the way, I thought that was cool idea. But the main thing for me is if you're gonna do that, why did Sukuna deny the opportunity 2 chapters earlier? Like, what changed between those chapters to make him
love.
It's not like he had a let me think on it moment in between. He was just acted like, yeah, I lost, so that's how I feel.
Nah.
Like,
see, Kamui, you're not using your 1,000,000,005 IQ. He couldn't accept Yuji's love because he had never got. Oh my god, the whole concept of teaching him love.
No, don't get me started on that.
What does that even mean?
Dude,
kill this mother effer. Kill him. Kill him.
There
Let
were
him
so
die.
many.
Oh my god, we
Okay.
talk no jutsu, but like that, we want to teach the Shibuya incidents, but we want to.
I don't even understand. So
he gets Percy.
It's really weird how that whole thing was intertwined at moments. So Yarazu's saying the one who will teach you about love it's like her line. There's a line in the Gojo fight where the way the paneling's done makes us seem like Gojo is thinking about it. And I'm like, he doesn't even know about these words of dialogue. I was so confused. I was like, okay, maybe Sukuna, but Sukuna just keeps thinking about it I don't know. It's weird. Okay.
I agree with you. And that's kind of what I would summarize the last fight. Like, it started off strong. It really did. But I think that I think he dragged the Gojo fight. For starters, I think he dragged it.
Real quick, what were your top 3 fights in that final arc? Your favorite 3? So starting from Gojo, finishing to the end of the series.
Okay. I'll put Gojo. I'll put the Gojo fight in. I really do because it showed everything.
I think that was the best part of the arc, probably the Gojo fight. Still,
yeah. I think I'd put that up there. I really loved when Yuta, Yuji, and Rika were jumping Sukuna inside his domain. I love that, but they wasted his domain too because it's like, you mean to tell me that's all he could throw at him? Man, I would have had other people learn domain expansion just for that purpose of copying their domains. Or wait a minute, can he copy domains he doesn't have? Well, I guess he can't copy domains.
I don't think he can't copy the domains, but in his domain, he can use all the copied abilities.
Man, you give me Yuta's ability. Oh, I guess it's random. You know what he should have done? All he had to do was lower his odds. Only have good abilities in there, so then he doesn't take any of the crappy ones. I'm serious, because they say you have unlimited swords. You just don't know what you're gonna get. Okay, cool. I'll take hollow purple and cleave. These two will get the. I mean, you can't use purple.
You know, the funny thing about that though is, it was random chance. You never know what you're gonna get. Sure seems like he got sky manipulation an odd amount of times. I don't know why. All those swords were the same ability.
And getting cleave. Come on, like it just happening to get it, and it did nothing. So like, what was the purpose?
The purpose was to throw Sukuna off, but it was a by chance.
For your billion IQ, I guess. But like, it didn't work because he still packed. I mean, he beat Yuta up. He beat Yuta badly. I remember when he literally paused middle of fighting Yuji. He punched me. He's like, "I'm sorry. It looks like I didn't understand your game, Yuta Kotsu." When he peered up in Gojo's body. Oh, I will say though, I
understand he was sick, but that was like one of the biggest random letdowns that didn't need to happen.
6.25.
Yeah, where it's just like,
yeah, that chapter.
It's like a 7-page fight where he just gets bodied and it's over. I was like,
oh, and
what's the point?
Okay, why can't Gojo use Unamaki? They wasted that on him. Give that to Gojo, the whole freeze thing, because Gojo wouldn't have missed that hollow purple.
Well, because Gojo wanted to win on his own terms. I get it, but here's my thing.
But he used.
Why did they do it with the Higuruma fight? They would have just won. Just do Inumaki's freeze then.
I don't know, because Gojo wanted to do his own, but he also started off by sending a 200% hollow purple with help. Like, so make up your mind with it, right?
True.
Like,
What was the
is
point
he,
in that?
is he going solo or not? And like, why not? Look, you go in there, pull his ass, call out hollow purple. Because Gojo's hollow purple would have destroyed him. He wouldn't have missed. That's a problem. Yuta wasn't even adapted to him. Like, and oh god, look, Gege letting them use Yuta. Come on. So I got a lot of things. For starters, why on earth can Yuta both use Gojo's domain expansion while transformed into using Kenjaku's ability, when Kenjaku's ability didn't allow him to use Geto's domain expansion?
Well, okay, this is just something I'm rewriting. I feel like Geto. So you could just infer Geto doesn't have domain expansion or reverse curse technique, all that. In my rewrite that we're going to discuss hopefully soon, he's just going to have it because
He's a special
I'm
grade
salty
user.
and I
Name
want him to just have it. I just want it to be stated. He's got
Nah,
it.
he
And
has
that's
it. No, bro, he's a special.
He
grade.
has to. It's like, how could he not? How could this dude who is that strong and skilled not have it? It just what?
Well, here's the thing. Gojo wasn't special grade at the time that he was a first grade at the time of the flashback, right?
No, they were already. Oh, it depends on which part of the flashback.
They were the flashback when he was in his when him and
no, but like during part of the flashback they get special grade, but
they did. Are you sure?
Yeah, after Toji, they're definitely special grades because when Geto talks to Yuki, they're already special grade.
Oh,
so you don't technically know. You technically don't know if they're special grade.
Okay, well he has
during
the
Toji fight stuff. But they do become it for sure later.
Well, every single special grade user has a domain expansion.
Except for maybe Geto, which is ass.
That would make no sense. That wouldn't make sense. Like the special grade users are they're at their pinnacle. They're at their peak. You know, like they're as strong as they can get. Is what they're supposed to be, at least. So like, how can he really be a special without a? He's that strong without a domain expansion. That doesn't make sense. Other people can't even keep up with
and I
that.
understand during the movie, domain expansion didn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Just retcon it and say he had it. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do with Gojo, right?
Exactly. Because Gojo, when would Gojo have needed to use his anyway? Plus, you could also say that Geto couldn't use his because he had what 10% of his or 50% of his power because
exactly. In the rewrite, I'm just gonna address why he doesn't use domain expansion for the sake of it. But he's just gonna have it.
Domain expansion. I'm confident he has a domain expansion.
Exactly, but I'm gonna address why he's not using it. But okay, real quick because I see Oodie's here. Let's just list it. Okay, so real quick. Kenjaku, Tengen, and Yuki, the most weirdest, most wasted things ever, in my opinion. It's just pointless. I don't know. It just
Yuki got hoed. Yuki got hoed.
Like I'm just like the whole Yuki and Kenjaku and Tengen plot line. It was so interesting, and it just went nowhere. It was the biggest waste ever. I did want to mention that real quick.
They did Yuki dirty because she had so much potential too, and she was Toto. Wasn't she? No, she wasn't Toto's teacher, was she? Or was she Toto's teacher?
Yeah, she was Toto's teacher.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, like that's just kind of they wasted that. They could have done so much better with that. Okay. I wasn't.
One last thing. We don't have to elaborate, but Oodie, I'm gonna send a message. He can listen to this because it's not really important. We can just give our favorite 3 arcs of JJK, and then we'll get into the rewrite.
Okay, perfect. Our favorite.
It doesn't have to be in order necessarily, if that's too hard.
No, our favorite. One more time of our arcs.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite arc, definitely the flashback arc for me. It just.
Yeah.
I think this one, when I got to see it seems the most Gojo. When Gojo seems most like how I would think he'd be. When he's not broken, when Gege likes him, yeah, that's what I would say. And you said yours is the same too?
Yeah, my favorite. I want to give a top 4 just for fun.
Oh, sorry, top 4. My bad. Let me go back. Wait, top 4 arcs? Then okay, if we're breaking them down,
one of them it's unfair to count. So it's really an honorable mention. And I'll just say right now, the movie arc.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the movie.
I'm gonna make that the honorable 4th mention because. That's one of my 4 favorite arcs. If we're counting it,
I love it. I mean, I count that as an arc, right?
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, I definitely count.
But I will. Let's just say top 4, just
Demon
so that
Slayer,
way I can include the other ones.
Well, Demon Slayer does that. They retell their movies in arcs, and then like it counts as like new episodes. So I think that's fair. But yeah, I'd say the flashback arc. I really like the second half of season 1. I'm not gonna. Then I'll say Shibuya, And I'll probably say the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. Yeah, that's what I put my order in.
Okay.
With the first thing I said being my favorite, and the last thing I said Gojo versus Sukuna being my least favorite. Yeah, I think because I really did like the flashback was just really good, man. It was just really good.
The flashback arc's my favorite, for sure. For second, it honestly might be the movie. If not the movie, then maybe Shibuya. And the other one I want to mention is actually the Junpei arc.
Oh, Junpei. Oh, that okay. Hold on. I love that because I remember when Sukuna was like, "Oh, dude," he was like, "I refuse." I was like, "Dude, this guy's a bastard."
But
oh my
the Junpei arc is underrated for JJK. It's one of the best still.
They were clowning him. They're him and Mahito
is. I think Mahito and Gato are the best villains of JJK. I'm sorry about Sukuna. Sukuna could have been. Well, I'm sorry. Sukuna's a great villain. Terrible antagonist. I want to make the distinction.
Yes. Oh yeah. He's just a
terrible antagonist. He does nothing for the story, but he's a great villain.
Yeah,
Mahito was both. Gato was both.
I agree. I don't know. Mahito for me didn't feel like a heavy duty villain because it felt to me like he didn't really like Mahito. I never felt like Mahito was going to last long. I didn't feel like he was like if Mahito got the potential to exist. Like if Gege didn't hate him and write him out, because I really do think that he was broken. I definitely think.
Oh yeah, he would have become so strong.
Oh yeah, I think like if he could have been an villain boss, then he would have been like S tier. I just don't see a world where Gege gives him enough love to where that's even going to be where that would even be a possibility. But
yeah, but all right,
I like him a lot.
I'm trying to get Oodie to listen now.
Perfect, Ood-kun.
Adding him over the blaze. All right. Okay. We'll start the rewrite topic now.
Who?
What? For the space stuff, that's not the ending. We haven't talked about any of the rewrites yet. We were just talking about a lot of JTK ending and JTK as a whole. No, because we were going to go in chronological order for the rewrite stuff.
Here, now
that I mean, we. Okay. I guess. Okay, Okay, let me just start laying the premise.
Hold on, one second. I will be right back. Just so you guys know, I will be right back. So you two stall and argue for like literally 1 minute. Literally 1 minute.
Okay. So we could do that if you really want. So obviously so the way this can be broken down basically as far as the topics. So there's the movie rewrite that Base and I did, which is also coexisting with the JJK rewrite. The premise is the main premise we're going to talk about today anyways. But keep the same characters, swap the plot positions of Yuta and Yuji. So Yuji is in the movie fighting Gato, Yuta fighting Sukuna, blah, blah, blah. That's the premise. And we figured, especially with how long this has been so far, probably do the movie with Yuji explanation, probably have to do a part 2 with Yuta. I mean, we can discuss it. I already know King of Chaos is going to be on board because he already said earlier he thinks Yuta should have been the main character. I was like, perfect, you're going to love this rewrite. I could just start with it and explain a little bit, but I feel like it makes sense. If we're going to do it in depth, it makes sense to just go in order. Because then obviously the one that you did and I added on to is like an overarching the whole story of JJK plus the extra movie idea. But the overarching thing can just coexist regardless of this. So there's just kind of like separate things that can all be combined, but they don't have to.
I am back.
But that was the original plan, was she was going to be there for that one. Especially if we're going to just talk about the movie idea, because that's not a rewrite. That's just the additional movie we made up, basically. I mean, there's rewrite aspects, but it's kind of like she can't really play that card when it's like it's mostly just a new movie.
Oh, are you guys done arguing already? Oh, wow. Just so we all know, we have an hour and 2 minutes. Just want to make sure everyone knows that.
I'll let King of Chaos decide. Okay, so real quick, just to give you the premise of, so there's different stages or aspects to the encompassing rewrite stuff. The first thing is this premise. I already told you you're gonna like it. You keep the characters the same. So this is actually, Space and I were talking about this in Discord. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Either way, I'll share my screen and look at the messages in a little bit. But the idea is you take the same exact characters. You're going to swap their positions in the timeline and plot.
Ooh.
Yuta and Yuji swap places. Yuta is the main character of JJK, the anime and manga, while Yuji will be the main character of JJK Zero, the movie. And so Yuji fights Geto, Yuta fights Sukuna, Mahito, and all that. That's
Yuji
the
doesn't
premise.
win that though.
There's going to be some changes plot-wise, but narratively, character-wise, that's the premise. I'll explain, obviously, how we do it. Would you rather, though?
Wait, just so I'm clear, though, we're just going to say that, like, as far as strength and stuff, like, hey, if they beat them, they beat them. So, like, if Yuta beats Geto, Yuji will also beat him type deal? Or are we going to say, I'm gonna rewrite
the plot so that it makes sense. The Space that I already discussed the movie part. We'll just make it make sense so that it works. But yes, everything's gonna play out more or less the same. We're just gonna adjust things so that it makes more sense narratively and plot-wise. But
okay, bet I'm with it.
With that in mind, would you rather start by talking about Yuta in the manga or Yuji in the movie?
I'd rather go in chronological order. Let's start.
We'll start with the movie then, because that's more fleshed out. Okay. In that case.
Oh wait, hold on. What we can do is just so everyone's on the same page. I think would make the most sense. Let's make this, since we have about exactly 1 hour before I gotta dip. Why don't we make it like a 4-part series? We do this arc, then season 1, then each section, like each live stream. We can make it like a part of the rewrite.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I like that too. Okay. So each time, if you want to hear about part 2, tune in tomorrow with the Walky Talky podcast and their favorite cousin.
Tomorrow? Is that what we decided?
Me. Oh, not tomorrow.
I mean, I'd be down, but
tomorrow would work for me actually. Currently,
tomorrow's not good for me.
Oh yeah, no.
Unless it's really short. It would have to be a very short.
We could do it make it an hour. We'll just do season 1 tomorrow. Like we could do the movie today.
Okay, that could work in theory as long as it was actually an hour.
Yeah. We'll just knock them out within an hour. That way it gives us enough time in creative limitations too. Because if we get a year to write each section after Gege's already give us the template, we could shoot. First things first, binding vows. You get 2 of them per life.
Yeah.
Because they just at first they were great, but then you just get unlimited, and they're just like the answer to everything.
Why 2 instead of 1? I feel like 1 makes more sense. Mm-hmm. But is there a reason
2,
you're going
because
for 2?
The first one
or 3, 1 or 3.
I just say 2 because I figure 2 is good. Like nothing crazy. It's not 1. 1 would be extra. Make it 2 because I don't know.
What's wrong with the 1?
Positive and negative energy. There's positive curse technique and negative curse technique.
I'm gonna make a shake real quick before we start this.
This will give me a perfect time to rant about all the people that I don't like on YouTube.
Okay,
go for it.
Works for me.
I can't think of anyone now.
Yeah, what about the Walky Talky podcast?
Well, first off, okay, everyone. Let me start with my true theory about why Oodie and Kamui are the same person. For starters, who the heck would eat a protein shake this late? And before Kamui says who says it's a protein shake, we all know it's a protein shake.
That's what I said I was going to do.
You didn't say it was a protein shake.
A protein shake and a muffin.
It's just implied.
Besides a pumpkin pie spice.
Love it.
A pumpkin spice? This man's the Lord of the Rings. Oh, here, pumpkin spice frappuccino latte. I respect it. Look, I'm a bougie guy too. Ever since I got married, me and my wife, she's introduced me to fine dining. Like I use forks and plates and stuff. I don't just eat out of my hands. I used to eat ramen out of my hands. You know how difficult that is? I didn't realize it until I started using forks and bowls. Like you don't have to have the hot soup in your hand. It's genius. Let me be clear before anyone goes for me and clips this. I had bowls before my dang wife. And to any young lad out there that does not have a bowl before getting married, be ashamed. Ooh,
That should be our goal.
Yes.
to not have a bowl or to not to eat ramen with your hands.
To eat
Also,
soup
don't
with your
use
hands.
margarine. Apparently, people don't like margarine anymore. When I grew up, I thought it was good, but apparently, butter's everything. Hold up. Here's a real question we gotta ask ourselves. Beginning of series. Oh, nope, never mind. I forgot Rika. I was gonna say, well, we had a little bit of time since you've seen the movies. We doesn't say we could have a little quick discussion on who we think would win beginning of series, Yuta or like Yuji. And at first I was thinking, wait, Yuji would probably beat his ass. But then I'm like, wait a minute, he's not fighting Yuta. He's fighting Rika.
Well, if we're going beginning of the series, then technically Yuta doesn't have Rico yet because she's still alive.
Oh, I'm not talking about when he's like 8 and Yuji's like 15 and breaking Olympic
Hey,
records.
you said
That'd be a
beginning of the
little bit unfair, I think.
series. Hey, to be
Fair
fair,
enough.
Well,
Okay.
not-
this means Yuji
not in
doesn't have
terms of,
Sukuna's finger.
The events we're exposed to.
Mm.
Yeah, but the Sukuna's fingers, I don't think they made them stronger, did they? I mean, he eventually learned about like techniques and stuff like or whatever, but
I
like
mean,
I don't think they made him stronger. I think he's just strong in general. Like which it makes no
They did, yeah.
actually. Yeah,
That's
man.
A
Hey,
poorly explained plot thing to where he
Ooh, wait, no.
He basically has Maki's original heavenly restriction, but then just gets curse energy from Sukuna. That's basically how it comes out. Whether
That's
or not
how I'd rewrite it. I'd
never
give Maki the
describe
MC.
what's going on.
I would make Maki the MC and rewrite it.
ooh.
Think about it. It will have a Rock Lee situation. You don't get. She has no curse technique. Just a sword. Just a baddie with a sword. Also, I lied. There's a storm over my head right now. I don't anticipate any issues. But if I get disconnected, I blame you guys and not myself.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Ooh. Why can't I replace that? But anyways, let's get to this rewrite. Let's start right at the beginning then.
Wait, hold on 1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, I
No,
forgot he's
keep
making his damn
stalling.
shake.
Keep stalling.
Oh my god.
I'm
Freaking
good at
stalling
stalling.
forever. Love to see it.
So why is Ino scum?
Oodie, you can take it away this time.
Okay,
No,
well,
here's something better than that.
one point I
No,
really...
everyone wants to blame Ino. Here's someone we should really blame
Yeah.
that no one's even considering here. Where's the tiebreaker in all this of Choji? Where is he? What is he doing?
Oh, we've already discussed this in my. We reacted to my video about why Choji's worse than Scum. He's
What?
the worst father of all time. He's letting his daughter
Worst
die. Doesn't
father?
give a shit. Doesn't even care.
She's a ninja. That's her job. She got to get paid.
It's not her job to die!
Yes, it is. Literally, if you join a military
Shikamaru-
fighting force, it's your job to die. 100%.
Shikamaru asked for all hands on deck to support Team 10, and Choji didn't even try to look for her.
No, that is what. Where's Rock Lee and his team of 8 gate users that all could, kick space time?
Rock Lee
Like,
decided he doesn't want to work hard anymore.
honestly, Rock Lee. That's another area of Naruto I'm disappointed on.
Ooh.
That kind of reminds me like that of the binding vows. Like Maki, I feel like Maki should have been a little stronger. Same with Toji, because if Maki is as strong as Toji, but Toji's only is weaker than Gojo as a
Bro,
kid.
Choji was still better than Maki. They can't change my mind because even if
Ah.
Maki got to Toji's
What about the sword, though?
physical level, Choji was just better at fighting. Like he was more skilled. He had way better weapons. He knew what the fuck he was doing. He was
Forget
way more
fighting.
intelligent and strategic.
He's a
Like
better
he just
assassin.
was better.
Well, he's an assassin.
Oh, he's
too.
pretty
Like,
lazy.
Lazy? Yeah, he was. But hey, he got the job done almost.
He was lazy, but he was still better. Like- but anyway, I'm back.
Oh, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay, so I'll just like have the Discord thing so you can also see this at the same time as we're going through it. But it started with like Space was talking about like, well, if you don't want Yuji to be the MC, because it started when I said like I said in light of JJK's ending, I think Yuta just would be a better MC. Like basically, was that how that whole thing started? And
Yeah,
then we
see,
started
you
talking about, like,
immediately get in
swapping.
spoilers. Why am I here for this? Just show the spoilers and I'll go away again. What? I told
Wait a minute,
you.
how are we going to talk
What?
about?
No, I'm not showing this part. This part has to do with the ending. We're gonna talk about the movie.
So
Wait,
that's
how are we gonna-
so you're having two different
Hold on, hold on.
conversations.
Wait, before we
is what you're saying in this conversation.
Hmm?
No, because we go by. I'm just scrolling through the comments. We get
Oh
into
my
the
God.
Yuji Gato stuff pretty quickly, and that's most of this
Whatever.
conversation that's on screen.
Okay.
And I spoiler
Missing
tagged
the
everything
conversation.
that
What
you
about powers?
don't need to see, so you know what not to look at.
Yeah,
What
well,
about
sorry,
powers?
King
When
of
you say
Chaos.
don't
We're just
get
not
this-
allowed to see the conversation that we're talking about. This is like
I'm okay with
Samurai
that. I
8.
have
We
an
just don't
internet
get to know the context.
Oodie, we asked the fucking guest what he wanted to do, and he agreed. Movie. Stop being a dick. It's not your birthday anymore.
Oh
Wait,
my god.
it was your birthday? When? I missed your birthday?
Not with Kamui's
Yesterday.
attitude, it wasn't.
Happy birthday. Well, you
Thank
should have
you.
told me. Also, more importantly, if it was his birthday, you should have told me. I would have picked what you wanted then. I didn't know you wanted to start with the first. I think starting the first season's bad though. Well, I only would have done it because it was your birthday. Otherwise, I would have definitely started. I think starting the middle of the
otherwise
first
you're
season's
just gonna
bad
step
though.
on
I
my
think starting
toes
the
with
movie's
that one.
way better.
No,
way
Oodie
better.
wants us to start with the ending, the spoiler parts. Like,
Huh? But how are we gonna? Aren't we gonna release this for like? Aren't you guys gonna like chop this up, make shorts or like content for it? We can like show people. 'Cause,
I
like,
don't
if you
care
take
enough
this
on the
section
I
and
think
you're
we should
now-
go in
ones.
chronological order. In fact, Oodie the other day said we should go in chronological order wherever it was in our DMs.
You can never prove that.
I think if
So
we
I
unless
don't
don't
you
know
do
why
the
you're
look for
movie
it.
switching
first,
up now.
if we don't do the movie first, we're gonna run into plot holes like Gege did. I promise you that. Because there's no universe Ghetto couldn't have done even a weakened version of a domain expansion now that I think about it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so
I'm 26 now. You can hit me in the
Um,
chest. I'm a man. I can take it.
Dang, I
So
thought I was
he-
the only
okay.
old man around here.
getting into things, the other rewrite. So for the sake of this conversation, I will say we do want to rewrite Gato to, at least I would like to, so that Gato is in the JJK manga. For the sake of
yes.
this
Mhm.
movie rewrite, it doesn't really matter whether Gato dies and Kenjaku takes over or whatever we do with Gato. It's not really the point here. The point is
Yeah.
that Gato and his philosophy. Also, I'll say real quick.
Wait, yeah,
Small
because does he want you? Does
In the
Yuji have
movie-
Rika? Or does he just want Yuji?
No,
Yuji,
yeah.
let's
So
just do
I'll
Yuji.
explain that in a second, but real quick about Gato's philosophy. In the movie, obviously, Gato wasn't as fleshed out as he becomes later in JJK
Yeah.
manga proper. And for the sake of this, we're just gonna so in the movie, Gato's thing is more so like, oh, the strong are always dying, protecting the weak, blah blah blah. He has that
Wait, I'm
superiority
lying. Hold
complex.
up. Are those my only options of where we start? Because I'm lying. If I get to pick where we start completely, I want to start back in the flashback arc. Actually, forget the movie. Nah, I want to fix a lot of it. If we're going, if we can pick any order because there's so many. We can fix a lot of. I want Toji in the story.
Well, we
that a
definitely
possibility?
can do that,
Okay.
but that's going to be entirely off the cuff, and I don't have anything written down and planned and thought of.
What? You know what? Toji
never
living-
gonna
him
finish
living
in
makes
an
more
hour.
sense to me than anything.
No, I'm down, but I haven't wrote that down as a thing I've already thought of.
All right, we'll
for
start
sake
the
of
movie, then
screen.
explore that at another time.
Hey, flashback idea works for
so
me.
like we can think about how we're going to do it.
Okay, either
But,
way, whatever works.
What works for you?
It's not my birthday
I'm
anymore.
gonna
I don't
do
get
a
to say Kamui.
You needy little. Ukun, I love you.
I don't know why you're being so weird about this. It's like you want me to do anything but talk about the thing that's already written out.
Is it because you want to? Like, is there a reason you want to start the other one? Is it because you don't?
He
you
just
want us
wants to
get spoilers on the end?
leave. He just wants to talk spoilers so he can leave.
Oh, so he doesn't. So we get the spoilers out of the way. Nah, it'll work bad in the order for that, Udkun.
Not for
It'll-
me.
it'll be horribly
It
chronological.
works perfect with
I hate
real
you.
peachy for me.
I like how I like. Where do you got to go do anyways? You're in the middle of the WalkyTalky pod. All you got to do is walk.
Well,
Wait, or do
I'm
you
not
walk
in the
during
middle
these?
of it if
I get
I'm not
confused.
here.
No, you're here in spirit.
Whatever. Okay.
What just happened?
Try to bulk
Anyway.
and bundle it all together. It's like selling, buying things. It's cheaper.
All right, let's start.
Okay.
So, in the movie as it is, Gato doesn't have the whole well, non-sorcerers are the ones that leak out curse energy and create curses thing. That just wasn't developed yet. It's just only like the stronger dying, protecting the weak. That's basically as far as it goes. In the rewrite, we're just gonna add in the stuff he learns from Yuki. He's just gonna mention, oh, well, non-sorcerers create all the problems because the curse is blah blah. That's just gonna be in the movie. Small change, but just
okay. Yeah, we'll just make it a flashback of him having that memory when he's sitting down somewhere thinking something. Like, are you sure you want to do this? And then it's like, he remembers that. Yeah. That fits
exactly.
Perfect.
Flashback arc that we're
now
not rewriting.
The
Sorry, go ahead.
He said a flashback arc that we're not rewriting. No, I think that's a perfect one you put in there. Like that one plugs in perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like
I agree.
puzzle pieces.
Yeah, because he just turn his head down and like, are you sure? He thinks and he pauses for a second and remembers. We can even make it to where you don't see Yuki's face, so you don't reveal her yet. It's like just him having the conversation. I like that a lot. Man, I should write Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm a goat.
I'm gonna do. I want to do a like Daigo's rewriting Naruto. Just do it for JJK. We're already starting with a banger change. Yeah. So Yuji's the main character of the movie now. Yuto's the main character of the main story. Just so you know. But the thing is, Geto works better as Yuji's antagonist without spoiling why. Sukuna works better as Yuta's antagonist. When you just look at their characters and the themes surrounding them, it just makes more sense. Yuji's whole character goal thing is about saving people. Geto's ideology is about saving sorcerers / the world from curses. So it's saving people versus saving people.
Yeah, an extreme version.
And then Yuta and Sukuna has the love stuff. Without getting into it too much.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because Rika.
I see what you're doing there.
It's just like I said, we'll get into the Sukuna stuff later, but that's why they just make more sense. And so I made this analogy that Oodie, if you want to close your ears for 10 seconds, real quick.
So it's terrible if I go away. Oh, but for 10 seconds, it's fine. Yeah, okay, say your thing.
Honestly,
now I took my headphones off. It's too late. I can't even hear you say your thing.
Don't really spoil it. Okay, no, that's fine because I've already said more than you can listen. So I said, because you responded, that's crazy to hear based on what I know. So you've already read this probably, but for
me,
King of Chaos, no, Oodie's read this because I replied to his message. I said, I think Yuta just makes more sense. Put Yuta in Yuji's position if it's more impactful and rich, IMO. It's like Rock Lee defeating Obito instead of Naruto. Like, yeah, sure, I guess Rock Lee could work, but Naruto sure as hell better fits the dynamic, don't you think?
Yeah, because there's extreme
and to me, Rock Lee's like Yuji, while Yuta's like Naruto in this context. But anyway, I want to get into the actual stuff where we start to like get into things now.
Shout out all the things.
He mentioned how Yuji can have Space mentioned how Yuji can have a flashback to his grandfather's last words in a later part of the film instead of starting the movie with the whole grandpa thing. It could be a quick flashback just for time's sake, which I think works. Okay, and then we're gonna have Geto still be trying to have Space at this. I say just keep it exactly the same as it was. So for this rewrite, Sukuna will be inside Yuji all the same, just as FYI. And Geto's plan is basically the same. He's going to first try to make Yuji join him. Yuji's going to obviously say no. And so, okay, then I'm going to kill Yuji. And based off the same explanation about Rika, when I kill Yuji, the cursed Sukuna becomes mine. So he gains control of Sukuna, and I think that's a very reasonable way to beat Gojo based off the manga as it is. So that just makes sense. It's the same logic the movie already used.
And you have someone tie in on who's on the love thing with Rika, Sukuna. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
So, now, okay, yeah. So another thing, I'll say right now, Megami is pretty fluid. You can pick and choose what you'd want to do with him. But we're also going to swap Nobara and Maki. So Nobara's going to go with Yuji, be in the movie. Maki's going to go with Yuta, be in the manga, with Yuta, just because their dynamics make sense. And then another thing actually is, Space mentioned this. I don't even remember all of this, but Nobara says a thing at some time about having a bad life doesn't justify you being a bad person. And we can just throw that into her here for like her thoughts on Gates. throw that in there. It works. Mentioning this briefly, Mahito can work well with Yuta. We'll get into the specifics later. Space mentions Geto versus Yuji. The idea of the fight, in my opinion, would be about saving people, and if you should try to save anyone or only a specific group of people.
What
and then
Maki? What about the whole Geto and Maki thing? I mean, do we even need Nobar there?
Well, here's the thing. No, but here's the thing, especially with this rewrite on Geto. Geto has the whole non-sorcerers leak out curse energy, they cause all the problems, blah, blah, blah. Geto understands that Maki doesn't have curse energy. With the later context, there really is no reason for him to be so mean to Maki, because while yes, she's not a sorcerer, she is way stronger than the non-sorcerer humans, and she's not one of the people creating curses. As far as his way of thinking goes, she should really just fit in with the other sorcerers.
Yeah,
so
like she's
no
annoying.
need for him to be a dick to her here. Which I mentioned right there. So obviously in the movie, that wasn't really a thing. So it makes sense at the time of the movie, but in later context, it's kind of weird. So as far as themes go, I was going to say, with Yuji and Geto, a couple themes you can play with. What it means to be a sorcerer. Who is worth saving. Why we should save others. Why should we save certain people over others? What it means to even save someone. How do we break free of our curses and curses in general? These are things that you can play with that just don't exist in the movie, honestly. The movie is just a love story. It is about breaking free of curses, I'll admit, but we can just do that anyway. That's all JJK later stuff. We'll have, is it FYI, Yuji will just appear earlier than Yuta does in the actual manga to make everything make sense.
Okay.
Also, like I said earlier, Megami can be in this movie, or he can be saved for the manga. You can just flip-flop Megami and Inumaki.
Yeah, since they have
both can work. Just pick the one you want for today. It doesn't really matter that much.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. So
I like Megami and you could honestly switch the entire class. You could really,
like I said, it also I'm gonna say this right now. You don't need Panda. If you guys want to delete him, it's fine.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh sometimes. He's the most useless character in the story.
Principal Yaga.
Like
his storyline.
Principal Yaga's useless too. His whole storyline is useless. But we don't need it.
The plot line with him and getting packed up though.
Don't care.
Yeah, it was terrible. We don't need it. Just delete it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Inumaki at least is a telephone plot device that makes people stop moving. So Panda never does that. So we're gonna keep Inumaki for the sake of this. Oh my god, Kenjaku. Yeah. So Space mentioned, well, what about Kenjaku stuff? I'm like, honestly, it doesn't matter either way. You can change it or not. If you want to remove Kenjaku, this is what we're going to do regardless if Kenjaku's the cause behind it. In this rewrite, we're just going to go with what it seems like. Yuji just is like Maki. He just has the same heavenly restriction, and that's why he's essentially a strong vessel for Sukuna, and he just gets Sukuna's curse energy. All the same, it's just going to be the canon explanation, though.
Yeah,
he just
give him all
has that. And in this rewrite, Yuji will just be able to use Sukuna's powers way more than he actually does. So real quick, I just want to look at some of this because I wrote some of this out. I just argue with Space about the fact that Sukuna is a curse. That's why Geto can steal him if he kills him. So we're just keeping that. Real quick.
Oh, he's a cursed object.
Yeah. Sukuna's a curse because of that. Okay, for the sake of it. So Geto can steal him if you want. Geto's also, I already mentioned this, Geto's stronger in the movie rewrite. Geto has domain expansion. He has reverse curse technique. I'll get into his thought process and stuff.
But because of Sukuna and his heavenly restriction.
Yeah, and so where did I want to find out where I wrote this.
Sukuna has physical form.
I think we're getting here close.
And none of the other curses do. None of the disaster curses or like the normal curses.
What do you mean?
Like Sukuna's fingers, anyone can see those.
Can they?
Yeah.
I didn't remember. Oh wait, did they see? Oh yeah, because in the season 1, they could see, the people saw it, the club, right? Didn't they worship it or something?
For sure, yeah, for sure everyone sees him. And doesn't he like puke the fingers up in the ending or something when he's punched or something? That's something I heard. I don't
all
know.
you need is any
He like
cursed
pukes
object.
him out and eats him. It's some weird ass thing. I don't remember.
So I mean, I feel like they have to be physical form for him to
tangible.
do that in the first place.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you can physically eat them. You
Yeah.
can like punch Yuji and split their soul and I guess have them puke them up. That would work.
My
Either
question is,
way,
where
though,
did
for the sake
fingers
of it,
go?
because he's just gonna count
I
as a
guess.
curse, whether you can see cursed objects or not. Sukuna will
I mean, he's
count
called
as
the
a
king of
curse.
curses.
He's the king of curses. At the end of the JJK manga, he's still saying, "No, Yuji, I am a curse." Saying it himself, they say it multiple times. Sukuna's a curse. Urume says it like so. He's canonically a curse, but he's reincarnated.
Well, I don't know
So,
if we could
I
just
think
say
it's
based on
fine.
him saying it, because like in that case, Madara just is
Yeah.
a ghost.
I mean, we'll just say that he can.
Yeah, but
he can
throughout the whole manga, they keep saying it. Like, go just like, well, he's a curse now, but he used to be a human.
Nah,
Urume
yeah.
saying like, well, if he wasn't a curse and was actually his human form, you would have lost. Sukuna saying, no, I'm a curse. Like, everyone's calling him a curse specifically. Like, no, he's not human. He's a curse. So
I don't
So-
know. I ain't gonna lie to you, Kamui. He's not. I said the same thing because I thought because he says he's the king of curses and people refer to him as king of curses, but apparently a lot of the community collectively understands that that's just the title they give him for his mastery, not from actually being it.
So
no,
Kamui-
but Urume goes out of his way to say to Hakari, it's
Of course,
because
make it
he's
work.
just a curse that
I'm
you
telling you,
won.
you're gonna run into people are gonna run.
Well-
You're gonna run into people straight up telling you cap on this. I don't have a problem making it work though.
Either way, it's a rewrite.
Perfect.
We
yeah.
can just make him definitively a
Yeah,
curse.
I know. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. So, like, I'm
say
sure
that
we
they're
all agree
consumable by
that
Ghetto.
he started as a human. Even I know that. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. And so I think he retained his human body in the Heian period. Obviously, he's using Itadori / whoever else's body in the future in the manga. So he has a physical form, but like so I'm saying this as similar to Kenjaku or Noritoshi Kama, to where I don't know if the human soul of Sukuna, it was or is still in Sukuna's body / merged with the evil Sukuna spirit, or if he just that human, if there just wasn't some other evil spirit and just Sukuna's human spirit turned evil, and that became a curse because it converted into curse energy because it's evil, or what? But that's kind of how I'm saying it. Maybe
Also, something they explained weird. Yeah, also something they explain weird. Like he's called the king of curses, but he's not a curse, but he kind of is. It's like make up your mind.
Yeah, so I'm sure his spirit
it
is
kind
a
of
curse,
weird. I just think,
but he's always
We
using
don't
a
know if
human
Ghetto
body.
couldn't absorb him either. Yeah, we don't know that Ghetto couldn't absorb him either. Let's be clear.
yeah, like
I'm
I
not
said,
saying-
for the sake of this rewrite, like I said, we're just gonna make it so that he can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works
For
perfect.
the
But
sake of
I
the
just want to
plot
say,
being
like,
as
do you
similar
guys
as possible.
agree in this case
Binding
in
vow.
canon that he should be
Binding
like
vow.
Noritoshi Kamo or Kenjaku or whatever? That it's a
should
human
be.
body, but
Yeah.
he's a cursed spirit.
That's how they. That's in my
Huh.
opinion. That's how it is described.
Yeah.
I can just be wrong.
That
but
might
that's
be how
I-
it's described. But that unfortunately isn't how. I agree. That's how it sounds, especially when they literally call him the king of curses. But it isn't how it works, though. According to at least majority of people I've spoken to,
That's
they
fine.
all think
I,
I'm.
I don't trust these Twitter people because, like I said, Urume is at the end
Say
just
that
being
too
all
loud.
like, "Oh, it's not his human form." So
Don't
it,
hate us Twitter. You'll get
And,
canceled.
and I want to clarify
Twitter's the
that
end all be all.
not only do I think Sukuna's spirit changes the human body that he's in general, but I think the human body he goes
does.
into anyways are already special human bodies, such as frickin' Itadori. So,
Oh, of course, I
So,
agree. I mean, look,
yeah,
he
it's not a
learned all.
normal
I mean,
human body.
look, nah. The fact that he's able to heal himself and Yuji literally can contain him without being possessed.
Yeah.
When anyone else under like one finger just gets a meat.
It's kind of like
Okay,
Boruto with Borushikis, but specifically like towards the end of the series where he's mostly Otsutsuki. Or even a fully fledged Otsutsuki.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's not a cursed spirit. He's not fully, but he's for all practical purposes, people won't distinguish him.
Exactly.
People
'cause
might refer to him as
Boruto is just genetically Otsutsuki. He just looks human or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Wanted to get that out there. But please continue.
So here, real quick, kind of me in space going back and forth just about the space had an idea about like how they're gonna beat Gato. I came up with one later to solve this problem, but I was basically arguing with him as like I didn't like his because it left a very unresolved plot point that just doesn't work in my opinion as a standalone movie. So I'm like, it needs to be like resolved in the movie. So we're kind of just arguing about that.
Beat him though, honestly. As far as like, if he's in the same weakened form as he was with Yuta, because think about it, he can't use his domain expansion on Yuji for 2 reasons. One, Yuji has no cursed energy.
I wrote. Oh yeah. So I said, because he asked, is he gonna get all those things? I said, I'll give him everything. He'll choose not to use domain expansion in favor of his maximum technique for whatever reason they want to give. For example.
Hey, just let
so
him
obviously,
use it.
there's the cursed spirit thing is one thing, but another thing is, let's say Gato knows his domain will undoubtedly hurt Yuji. It's just automatically going to hurt him. But doing so might likely bring out Sukuna, who Gato can't beat, hypothetically, because Yuji will just have, in this case, he's going to have 15 fingers at this point. That's where he's going to be at. And so, in the rewrite, he's just going to have all of them. Okay. But
I think 15 is a good starting point for him, too.
And so, because Gato, so I'm making Gato strong, by the way. I want him to be an actual rival to Gojo. He's not as strong, but he's close.
Yeah,
so
I see what you mean.
Gato can beat 15 finger Sukuna, but not when all of his curses are, doing all their shenanigans right now.
Yeah.
And so, Gato currently can't beat Sukuna if he comes out.
He also can't use domain expansion, though, because of, again, no cursed energy. Like Maki, you can't detect him. So the guaranteed one. Well, no,
because Sukuna gives Yuji cursed energy. So
that
wouldn't apply here, but otherwise that would work. But so anyway, the point is he's gonna go for his maximum technique, Uzumaki, to destroy Yuji and Sukuna in one shot. So that way he can just win. And then, like I said, he'll just have reverse curse technique. But at the end of the movie, because he's used so much cursed energy through his fight and his curses in Tokyo and Kyoto and all that jazz, he just won't be able to immediately heal and run away. He's just too low on cursed energy to heal. And so instead he needs, a good night's sleep to recharge first. And that's why, he's going to be like so weak at the end of the movie when Gojo kills him and all that. We can just leave it the same if you want. Or later. Well, no, in the actual rewrites we're going to do, Gato's just gonna survive, but that's another topic for another day.
Okay.
Gotcha. For the sake of this topic, if you want to let him die, it can be all the same here. We're just gonna make those other changes. And I said, Gato will be much stronger than Mahito, Yuta, everyone else. So when Sukuna would respect is very strong, he can be like Kashimo level, for example. Not quite Gojo, but really high up there.
Okay, I like that.
And then Space added his little headcanon would be that Gato secretly doesn't really actually want in his heart to kill Yuji because of his own principles. What Gojo says to Gato in the end, you can show it in a not noticeable way. And I said, that would be a good way of tying plot and story together. In the story, it's what you say. And then the plot, it's what I said. That just works in that case. Like in his heart, he doesn't really want to kill Yuji. And that can make him kind of hesitate. That's fine. That's writing a story. He has character. Anyway, so Yuji has the cog mindset. I was like, I don't care. Something he mentions, I don't know exactly what they say, but he says, was it Yuta's nickname, the cursed child? So you have the blessed child Megami, the cursed child Yuta, and a cursed twin Maki. I thought that was cool, especially with the Sukuna stuff. Now, where is some of the other stuff where I got into the binding vow? Oh yeah, he's like, so how is Yuji going to stop Maximum Uzumaki? So this is where we get into the binding vow stuff. So the first thing, Yuji as a vessel. This is going to help just get into like Sukuna's reason for leaving Yuji for Megami. So Yuji as a vessel, while he can contain Sukuna, he basically contains them too well. So he basically limits the amount of power that Sukuna can leak out. This includes when Sukuna takes over. So, normally anyway. And so, for a hypothetical number, I think that works. For 15 fingers, Yuji as a vessel would make it equal to only 10 fingers. So he's like limiting the amount of power, basically. Both Yuji and Sukuna. This is obviously too weak for Geto, even with his curses split up. And so Sukuna wants to make a binding vow with Yuji. The limit on Sukuna's power will be released, allowing Yuji to access Sukuna's fire arrow that's unlocked at 15 fingers worth of power. This is when he's going to use the clash with Geto's attack. He's used the fire arrow. Which means both Yuji and Sukuna can access this. And so you can, I think a cool thing you could do throughout the fight would be like after Geto packs up Nobara, Panda, and all of them, Sukuna can be taunting Yuji, be like, hey, you know, I'll make a binding vow with you. Let me take over and I'll heal them, blah, blah, blah. You can do stuff like that throughout the movie. And by the end of the movie, I haven't written out the specifics. You can have Yuji's mindset be, I don't care how much power you have, Sukuna. I'll never let you take over and hurt my friends. And at the end of the movie, you will feel confident in Yuji, which is why this will work for the movie's sake. It's going to be resolved for the movie. And you can even have a scene of Yuji literally overwhelming Sukuna, who tries to take over at some point in the movie. So again, you're satisfied by the end of the movie. But because of this binding vow that's already been made, we can then tie this into stuff later in JJK, the manga.
Yeah, like why he has
anime.
to switch bodies. Because like, well, this body can only ever access 10%. So I'll like
and
10
so,
years worth. I'll never be at my full potential.
But like in Shibuya, when Sukuna takes over, because of this binding vow from the movie, he'll be able to use 15 fingers worth of power for that fight with Joko and all that. He can still do the in chains thing he does in like the first arc and all that jazz. But you can just tie the two together in a way so that you feel satisfied at the movie, but it still works for the manga. That's the idea there. I still think there's more that I said later. This is something Space wrote. You want to be that guy, right? Well, let me take control. Hell no, I already see what you will do if I allow you to take control. I'd rather die than give you the lead. Then why don't we make a binding vow? This is how you get your binding vow explanation. This is basically what he does in the story. I changed that a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah, 1 minute. In exchange for this, he does that, and then he says in exchange at one point, he can exchange like control for a minute, and that's when we have the whole time where he uses it like 10 years, like a year later.
Yeah, but I don't want him to use that one in the movie because that feels too unresolved for the movie. I want whatever he does in the movie to be resolved in the movie, for the most part at least, so you feel satisfied. You're not left thinking like, so what was that about? I don't want that to happen.
I kind of like that. It leaves a forbearing ruin and puts.
I feel like the movie should be. I feel like in this case, maybe you guys will disagree. I'm curious what Oodie thinks, but Space and I were going back and forth for a bit on it. I'm like, especially when we're talking about the whole main character stuff, this was another thing where I was like, I don't think you should have something. Yeah, like, oh yeah, because he was talking about like, what if we just don't have it be a separate movie? I was like, well, I don't think you should have Yuji be the main character of the first arc and then Yuta the main character of the rest of the story. I'm like, that's weird. And then if you're going to do a movie separately, I just feel like the movie should be a self-contained story and not left with so many unresolved things.
Well, is Sukuna the big baddie still of the series?
But it feels resolved because you pretend the rest of the story never happened. In this case, you're left thinking Yuji's got this because he already overcame Sukuna in the movie because he overpowered him in that moment of truth.
But remember that like, sure, chronologically, this comes out before everything else. Well, this comes out second to everything else. But season 1 in our real world sense comes out before this. So for me, it would make more sense that like since this is a movie,
I mean, in terms of the manga though, like JJK 0 was written first, so
it was. I don't think it was. I thought it was added secondary as supplementary things.
It was the story was written as a separate thing called like the Metropolitan School arc, whatever. It's a weird name, and then it retroactively got added into JJK as Volume 0. But the actual story was written first.
I just feel like having it to where it ends with him like with that binding vow. We're like, well, it's a looming thing where he's one of the last scenes could be him like talking to Gojo, like, so what did you promise Sukuna in exchange for the power? He's like, I don't remember.
Okay.
And then it could be the same setting as that. He's like, did you make a binding vow with him? He's like, I don't know.
I
And then
think
Yuji
that
completely
works
forgets
if you're
that.
gonna go with the context of like
Who's
the
gonna be the
anime
big bad?
manga's already started, the movie's happening in the middle, and you're just doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's
Then
how
it
kinda I
can
thought
work. I was operating under the assumption of like
JJK
if
Zero's
in the way
first.
it came out, this movie just was the first part of JJK, and then everything else came out after. That's so that caveat can definitely make or break this. So if you want to do it that way, then I think it's fine. The way I was thinking about it, though, then I don't think it was fine. But
Okay, well, I'm fine. I'm fine with going your direction, but I do think that if we're, I don't like putting JJK Zero as like the because if we're getting real technical, then shouldn't the flashback arc still be ahead of that? Then if we're going are we going chronological for story in our world or the story as
I was going
progressing in Limbo?
chronological in terms of when Gay Guy wrote these.
But still, JJK. Okay, fine. That's just
That was
tough
just the
because
mindset I had going into it.
it's just tough for me.
But we can't
JJK
just
Zero.
adjust it. It's fine.
No. Let's just pretend JJK Zero came first. I'm probably overcomplicating this. Yeah, let's just say JJK Zero came first. It was written first, and we close that plot line. I'm not completely opposed to that.
Okay.
And then if you want to scroll up.
Also, real quick,
Uh-huh.
Oh, what do you want me to scroll through?
Yeah, well, you're right there. Yeah. Man, Kamui's really showing how interested in my thoughts he is, like he said 5 minutes ago. Wow, he's really, really giving me the time of day. What I want to say about this was I loved space dialogue here, in particular, towards the middle-ish bottom. I like the idea that he's, for this binding vow, he's adding the 1 minute time limit. I think that's going to be freaking awesome, especially if they do that in real time in the movie. As like a Act 3 climactic thing of like, oh my god, all the things he's doing in a minute. But then he also has a caveat, because he's making Itadori seem smart, because he doesn't just accept that. He makes sure that Sukuna can't harm people that he considers human. And I'm curious what Sukuna, sly like a fox's way of getting around that, but not fully, would be. So what can he do?
I like your idea.
Yeah.
Well, I like your idea, Oodie, but I will say the way Space is writing this is with the manga tie-in, which you already know about with Meguna.
Okay.
But
sure.
This is what he's doing. He's setting up the late manga plot point with this.
Fine.
And I said I would prefer that this stuff is just applied to the movie. It can also be applied to the manga, but I want it to be resolved in the movie and not only resolved in the manga. That's just my personal opinion on this, which is why I adjusted it.
Yeah, man, if only
to be
I
the
wasn't
other
here
idea.
to
But the
talk about
point
these
is basically,
Why haven't you read the manga?
I'm working on it. I also want to add.
You're blaming Kamui here for something that you could fix easy.
I love the fact that
You
he's
read a
trying
bunch
to
of
like
manga.
sweeten the deal by giving him 5 whole minutes, as opposed to him, he only has 1 minute. It's not like it's even to where it's like 1 minute and 1 minute or 5 minutes and 5 minutes. Now Itadori is getting the better end of the bargain here, but because of Sukuna's sly, cunning, fox-like motives, he knows what he can do, and that's all that he needs. So it really doesn't matter.
And Itadori is dumb, like as
Yeah.
it's written,
The trickster, scam,
kind of a dummy
artist guy.
I didn't really notice that he did it. I didn't realize that he did that. I like that actually. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like you get 5, I only get 1. That sounds like it's fair, right?
Exactly.
Like, what could I do in 1 minute that you couldn't take care of in 5?
Exactly. It's good. Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just looking at more things because I know we added on more stuff. This kind of gets into the manga part, but yeah. As far as working, so as far as Yuji in the manga goes, I'm not sure when we'll introduce him, but I think we should just leave him in Shibuya so Sukuna can take over and keep all that the same there. You can just do something a little bit different with Rika and Yuta for the Mahito fight, which I did get into somewhere.
Yeah, you could just make Yuji like be sent to go help them as one of the extra people. Like, oh, he's also sent there too to help because help Gojo.
Yeah, Space was talking about. Yeah, Space loves Todo and Yuji's dynamic. I was like, well, you'll get to have that still.
You are my special.
Okay, let me find. Okay. This is what Space said here. So here's how I might just do each act for this rewrite in JJK0. You can think of the orders of events in the acts later on. Act 1, Yuji wakes up in a sealed room and Gojo tells him he's going to be executed. This is because he, ate Sukuna's finger. So it's going to be a lot like the Yuta thing. The difference is he ate Sukuna's finger. That's just a thing. Maybe you have a quick scene of Yuji eating the finger in like the opening, a 2-minute opening scene where like Yuji eats the fingers. Whatever you want it to be. Maybe Kenjaku sneaks it into his turkey sandwich. Whatever you want to do. The point is he's going to eat the finger, and that's the opening scene. Then he's in the sealed room.
One Piece does.
The way Space wrote this. Really? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's going to be executed, however Gojo changes it. So he's going to be executed, blah, 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 until he eats all 20 fingers, just like the actual story. First mission is with Nobara. He's only eaten 2 fingers. The curses are too strong for Yuji and Nobara to handle, so Yuji lets Sukuna out. Sukuna easily defeats the curses and nearly kills Nobara before Yuji takes back control. In the hospital, Yuji gets a flashback of his grandfather's last words. He doesn't mention it, I don't think. But I think you should do what you did with Geto, where Geto's watching. So he sees the Sukuna's power, and he's like, this will be perfect, or whatever. Act 2. Time skip happens. Yuji is eating 15 fingers of Sukuna. So just like when Yuta's having his training montage in the movie, Yuji's doing the same, but he's also just getting fingers during that time. Just on his missions, he gets more fingers. Does a mission with Inumaki and they win without having to use Sukuna, just like the movie scene with Yuta. Geto later meets Yuji, says his goal, lets Yuji denies. Geto declares war, that's all the same. Act 3, war is happening. Both Nobara and Yuji are the only ones in the school when Geto appeared. Panda and Uzumaki join the fight. However, Geto, it's the same as that how it is. Sukuna makes the binding vow with Yuji, and Yuji accepts it. Yuji is able to use reverse curse technique to heal his allies, which that's hilarious. He said exactly what I was talking about. Where you could have Sukuna be like, "Boy, let me take over, and I can heal them." Blah blah blah. He can eventually agree. Yuji is almost able to match Geto. However, he isn't used to using Sukuna's curse techniques. Just basically, he's not as good as Sukuna. Finally, Nobara appears and did a black flash with Yuji, which caused Geto to stop playing anymore and decides to use Maximum Uzumaki. Yuji uses the fire arrow to match the Maximum Uzumaki and ends it. Geto being overpowered. So I thought what would be, rather than Black Flash, I don't like Black Flash. So I'd rather just have Nobara use Resonance, her ability, at some point. Like, just have a ultimate clash thing to where Inumaki uses Curse Speech to stun Geto. Panda can do whatever. Panda can be the distraction if he's still going to be in this movie. Then Inumaki does Curse Speech to stun Geto. Then Nobara does Resonance. And then, Yuji does whatever he's going to do. He can be the fire arrow. Like, they can do all of this to clash with Maximum Uzumaki. I don't really care when you do this combo. Just have everyone do a combo on Geto.
Yeah, I want to say that
using their actual abilities.
I don't know what Maximum Uzumaki is. I didn't know it's a JJK spiral thing because Uzumaki, that's what it means in Japanese.
It's the thing where he does it in the movie. It's called Maelstrom in the movie. Okay. It's the thing where he combines all of his cursed spirits into an energy.
A laser.
Yeah,
it's a laser. It's just a blast. Yeah.
You already know when I read that, I thought of Naruto.
Yeah, exactly. Uzumaki. That's same here. Anyway, so real quick, would you rather make it sort of similar to what Space says, to where the team does their combo attack, which is going to be Resonance, Curse Speech, all that? It's going to be their actual abilities, not Black Flash. But would you rather have it be the combo attack, hits Geto, then he gets serious, and then does Uzumaki versus the fire arrow? Or would you rather have Geto just, I guess, do Uzumaki, and then they all combine to beat the Uzumaki?
I don't want them to combine it. I want them to chain off of one another in an interesting way.
That's what I mean. But would you rather their combo attack So
have fire arrow.
they're gonna do one after the other. It's gonna be one person goes and the next and the next and the next for the combo. My question is, would you rather them do that big strategy thing, hit Gato, then he's like, okay, I better get serious. Ultimate attack, then Yuji has to do the binding vow with the fire arrow.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Or
I like that.
Me too. I like that better.
Or would you rather have them do the ultimate attack combo strategy thing while Gato's using Maxo Uzumaki? I feel like it's got to go the first way, but
First way.
First way, absolutely.
Yeah, I
First
feel
way
like this is better.
As long as they're not doing the stupid 5 Kage Summit thing to where they're all combining their attacks and for some reason it just explodes, but then doesn't actually do anything. So no,
the way I was thinking is, so if Panda's there, Panda does, I don't know, gorilla mode nonsense, takes out some curse spirit, whatever he's gonna do. Okay, I don't really care about Panda's part in this. Then Inumaki will use curse speech to stun Gato.
Yeah.
Then you have Nobara use resonance, where when Nobara got hit earlier in the movie, you have a, whatever you want to do, plant a piece of foreshadowing. Maybe Nobara grabs some of Gato's hair right before she gets beaten up. And like, but this is, so like, remember when Maki gets beaten up by Gato in the movie? Hypothetically, Nobara grabs some of Gato's hair and he's laughing at her like, that's the best you could do, ha ha ha, whatever. But
that's how he get pissed by that.
Probably, but either way, my point, okay, I guess that's fair. Okay, whatever, the point is, she grabs his hair, okay? She gets a strand of hair, and then Gato does whatever because of it. And then later in the movie, she uses that hair for resonance for this strategy, because something she did earlier in the movie. And then Yuji does whatever. He does the big cleave, because he's using Suga's power. He does cleave on Gato, okay? Gato's hurt, but he just heals with his reverse curse technique. And he's like, ooh, that was a big gash, whatever. Too bad for you, I can heal as well. But I guess I better get serious, blah, blah, blah. Gonna kill you now. And then Yuji has no choice but to do the fire arrow binding vow with Sukuna.
As long as it's not
that's that.
like freaking 7 Deadly Sins season 4, to where they just show the character doing the attack, like all 12 individual characters.
I hate on 7 Deadly Sins.
And then you just show the explosion at the end. It's so pointless.
Season 4 was great.
It was great. It was just really cheesy when they did the thing I'm describing.
It was kind of cheesy.
Generic explosion. Okay. If they're going to combine attacks, at least have it be creative or narratively significant, such as Ino Shikacho's Shadow Possession Yo-Yo with Choji, or Naruto and Sasuke combining the Rasen Shuriken and Amaterasu. At least have it be good, instead of just generic explosion.
But to say, I'd have them use their abilities in a cool strategic way.
Yeah, like I don't need Konkoro using Sorcery's needles, and then Mei using Lava Style, and they just combine together to explode Sasuke Susanoo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. No, I want it to be one thing after another. So, like,
exactly.
For example, when Shikamaru does one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing.
Yeah.
The 4 steps, the kicker, like that actually gets you. That's what obviously I haven't written out the specifics of the choreography here, but the point is they each it's an actual make it a Naruto fight strategy thing, but with the JJK characters. That's the idea. Oh my god, I had to talk so much there. Well,
that's the problem with these rewrites.
General aspect of it.
I like it a lot better. The only thing I would switch is I really do think the whole UG with the binding vow, forget things, and having it transfer over works. But if JJK0 is the beginning, then I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if we want to complete the plot line still. I feel like the classes could swap and it would be fine too. Really?
Well, that's just it. You can just put Megami in this. There's an argument for either way, to be honest. Megami's pretty fluid.
Friends make sense.
So, you know, it's fine either way. The main one is Nobara just goes better with Yuji in terms of their like goofy dynamics. And then Space mentioned a thing about Nobara's, I forgot because I don't really care that much about her as a character, but Nobara's characterization works better against Gato's characterization. It's just more thematic I think.
I kind of like.
And then obviously
Maki
should go with. And also, no spoiler, but Maki works better against Sukuna than she did against Geto in the movie, narratively too. So it just is better.
Okay. I like it. I think overall we got a nice little, got a nice setup there. I think we definitely done a good job of rewriting it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Oodie,
on
this so far?
I agree. I think in terms of Megami, you really don't have anything there the first 2 seasons that's actually worthwhile. Like, yeah, you have setup for whatever in the manga that you get to. It's like they ask the question of setting up Megami like 5 different times in season 1 and 2. And then what do you really have? In season 2, you have the fact that he just is Choji's child. Okay. In season 1, you have him overcoming the fact that his friend died in episode 4. And then he fights the curse womb paintings, and then he's stronger now, so it won't happen again. Just generic stories that you could just give to anyone, or just remove
with the Master
entirely.
Domain expansion, personally.
Like, honestly,
just not.
I mean, I said this to you at some point. Megami's just a wasted character. Yeah. I don't remember how much we did in the main big rewrite, but like in all these rewrites, just know we're just gonna rewrite Megami.
Okay.
Like, so I said it doesn't matter where we do it. We're just gonna redo them anyway.
Because again, they haven't got to the thing that they're setting up for Megami yet. So I understand later on he's cool retrospectively based on everything they've set up.
No, he's not. I'll spoil you. No, he's not. It makes Sukuna cool. It doesn't do anything for Megami.
I don't know. I'm at least trying to give the benefit of the doubt by saying that.
His sister complex is still there, Kamui. Come on, chill.
It's there, but it wasn't.
That makes him dynamic.
That interesting.
How many people do you know have an open sister complex? Megami deserves representation.
Yeah, why do you think we don't know a lot of people's sister complexes? Not good stories. Otherwise, we'd have more of them.
Anyway, Megami will just get rewritten.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to get into a little bit, at least, of the Yuta in JJK stuff, or save that for another time?
Point because, like, we have 5 minutes before we start before I got to dip. I think this is a great. Then. And what we can do is we can you guys could chop the section off right where we start the part 1 and make these like a part 4 series. I would have some time tomorrow. If it works, let me know if that works for y'all.
I'll have to see how late I get home and stuff. Okay. It'll be pretty late if we do it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's always a pleasure being on the Walky Talky Pod. I can't believe man. Look, I'm a real big timer now. I'm a regular.
You are. You're probably one of the most often appearing guests.
Hey, I appreciate that. I feel like I haven't been on.
If it's not you, then you're like top 2. I don't know.
At this point, you're rivaling Trippy's appearances total.
Hey,
no, he's surpassed. You've surpassed Trippy. In the back in the day, it would have been Momoshiki the janitor, who ironically, King of Chaos would get along great with Momo the janitor. I don't know what happened to him, but he just disappeared like Trippy. But he wasn't a host, though. To be fair, so it's more forgivable.
Well, just so you guys know, I'll never disappear on y'all, except when the bun's out of the oven. In which case, you won't see me for probably a couple months. But hey, nobody will. But I'll be back always.
Sounds good.
Like the neighbor State Farmer's there.
Yeah, you'll be back.
Real quick though, before you go, is there anything from the rewrite you want to add? Any specific plot points, ideas, themes?
I want to see somebody hit a black flash. If it's a beginning,
okay, then Yuji can just do it. It's fine.
Yeah, let's say Yuji hits him one time with the black flash. Oh,
yeah, he gets one black flash for the movie. That's it. We're not gonna make it any bullshit. It's just gonna be cool scene, and that's it.
Okay, what about Divergent Fist? Is that a thing still?
Okay, you do that first. Say that first.
Because like Divergent Fist, I don't get that. I thought Divergent Fist and Black Flash were like cousins for a minute.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna remove Divergent Fist from this, by the way, because Yuji's just gonna have Sukuna's abilities. We don't need Divergent Fist.
Yeah, and I don't even understand its purpose, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
First, get rid of it. Doesn't matter.
All right, well, perfect. All right, well, hey, thanks for having me, y'all. Everybody, subscribe to the Walky Talky podcast. They're my favorite cousins.
Yeah.
No, we're not related.
Yeah, close enough.
We're related on YouTube.
It's my birthday. We can be related. It's fine. That's how that works.
Happy birthday.
But that said, yeah.
I don't know if we've ended it or not.
Well, no.
Well,
I
we
was
have to
gonna
do.
keep going.
Actually,
Anyways,
Chaos, if you want to stay for Oodie birthday present shenanigans, you can.
no, he's got to go. He's got to go.
The puppy's
Yeah,
calling me. Otherwise, I'd be in. But Oodie, seriously, happy birthday, my man. I'm super
Thank
happy
you.
for you.
I
Another
appreciate
26
it.
minimum. I need double that number, triple, preferably. It's a Ricky number. Step it up. You're almost an OG like me.
Triple would be like bare minimum. What do you mean preferably? That's like below the average.
Wait, really? How do people live nowadays? I'm
longer than like 74 90, 80, or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. 70, 72? I'm not the best at that. 78. No, that's 78. That's good math. 78's a decent age, isn't it? Is it not?
I mean, it's like average.
Oodie,
it's not preferable.
He doesn't want you to live a long life. He wants you to live a decent life.
At best,
decent is crazy. What about good? Or happy? All right. Well, my puppy's calling me. Everyone at the Walky Talky podcast, thank y'all for having me. Shout out to Kamui and Oodkun. They're the goats. And if they aren't, they at least fit the description. So. All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
See ya. Okay, now we gotta wait for Cam.
Okay, well,
Oodie, would you like to just rant about anything for a while?
No. Rest? So I was hoping that he wasn't gonna leave, or well, not that, but the fact that like I had rewrite things to say that you were actively talking about before he like had to go. So. Yeah. So themes that I would change or add or whatever, the questioning of it. I'm curious if you had anything in mind for the escaping the curse theme, which is already in the movie, since you talked about we'll do it anyways. Well, okay, but it's already there, so I'm like curious if you had anything to add or change to it.
I didn't think about it in detail. I was just like, I just feel like you could definitely do it. So it wouldn't be the same as the movie, but I think because you're not gonna like free Rika, you're not gonna do that sort of thing. Cam was ready quicker than I expected.
Yeah, we had just started. We literally just started episode 1 of season 2. We're watching The Witcher, and so I was like, "Oh, gotta go. Okay, good place to stop." Then.
Perfect.
Okay, well, real quick, we'll finish this last bit of the JJK topic. I think you could play into, in this case, having Sukuna, like Yuji overcoming Sukuna in the movie context would basically like be him turning the curse into like a blessing as far as the movie's concerned. Obviously, we know later down the line Sukuna will do shenanigans, but for the sake of the movie, it can be like almost like he's breaking the curse aspect of Sukuna because he overcomes him, whatever. You could go that route as a possibility. That's just the first thing that comes to mind. Do you have any other ideas?
That's how I would go about it, especially with my aspect of the rewrite.
Exactly. That yours was in my head when I was saying that.
Okay. Yeah, because specifically, I think it should be like not like a plot twist, but like sort of a revelation to where we're expecting this to break the curse. So we're expecting Rika to move on. But like in the movie, it's like, yeah, it's there, and like she does, and it's like, oh, it's crazy, but like that's really all that it is. It's just a plot contrivance so that he can just have Rika, so he can just be strong in the future, I think. But
yeah.
In this case, it's like even better because instead of Rika going away, we get to keep Rika, and it's narratively significant because it's instead of breaking a curse, it's transforming a curse into a blessing.
Yeah, except in this case, it's Yuji and Sukuna. So actually, and it makes more sense plot-wise why Sukuna's still there.
Yeah. So yeah, perfect.
So,
there was another theme.
All right.
Do you remember? Can you go over the themes you wrote down?
Oh, let me go find it real quick.
Yeah. I remembered it until I was saying this all, and then now I don't remember what I was going to say.
I just listed a bunch off the top of my head. Like I said, there's probably more that you might be able to think of too. This was just the first that came to mind, where it's like, these are easy.
Yep. I'm not looking if you can.
Which one in particular were you looking
at? Sorry.
Huh?
I'm not looking if you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What it means to be a sorcerer, who is worth
That's just the
saving?
Naruto
Why
copy,
should
let's
we
be honest. But no, we should have that anyways.
Oh, it is absolutely.
Absolutely.
It absolutely is, but it makes sense.
No, it works.
So,
It works. It's fine.
Who is worth saving? Why should we save
That
others?
one?
Why
Yeah.
should we save-
Okay, yeah. I wanted to really emphasize that's the one thing that I'd be most interested in. I don't know about talking or watching it or just in general, but I like that as an idea, especially for when it comes to Geto, and maybe even Geto versus Itadori. Especially with the COG mindset, if we were to go into that. But
I honestly, at least in this
can be
movie,
developed as
we
well.
don't need the COG mindset.
No,
I don't
I'm just saying for when we get there. I'm not saying to add it.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be a really interesting thing for them to play with, especially with Geto. But yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Geto works better and dynamic with Yuji than he does with Yuta, and then I think Sukuna and Yuta work better together. They just have a much more narrative dynamic versus as it is, it's almost like the plot makes sense, obviously, but like narratively, it's like these are the wrong people to be paired up with each other.
That's why I said it was
it's
crazy.
Like Naruto and Neji
makes
sense. Naruto or Neji and Sakura doesn't make sense. Sakura doesn't give a shit about Destiny. Like, don't work.
But that's why I was saying that originally, because I was only thinking from the plot perspective, like, does this even make sense? No, Sukuna's inside of Itadori. How are you going to make him Yuta's person? It's like, and then in JJK 0, Yuta and Geto were the ones who fought, and then Geto died. How are you going to do that? It's like, so that's what the percent. Like, I was even thinking narrative, but conceptually, I agree.
Yeah, but like I said, would you just change the plot to make it make sense? Obviously,
yeah.
And then, like, when it comes to Sukuna, here's the problem: Sukuna just leaves Yuji anyway, so
okay,
don't matter at that point.
Okay, so that's all I want to talk on JJK rewrite. I think the rest of it's good. Okay. I don't want to waste Cam time, so let's go.
And now it's time for. Well, that's funny. It said jump to present. That's perfect because we're jumping to the presents now.
Yeah.
Teehee.
Hilarious. Okay.
Did you ever take your shower? Water.
I did. Thank you for asking. I'm so clean and squeaky. Or the opposite order of that. I feel like that was a weird way to say that.
Clean instead of squeaky clean. You're clean and squeaky.
I feel like you always mess up words and like sayings. It's so funny because you say it with such confidence, and then you're like, "Oh wait,
that's not it."
My life just is a sitcom.
So funny.
Okay, Kamui, you need to stop sharing your screen so I can share my screen so I can show my camera.
Oh shoot. Let me just finish filling out this water real quick.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom so I just don't have to hold it the rest of the stream.
Oh, perfect.
Cam,
use the bathroom too.
You can talk on JJK.
Also gonna do that.
Yeah, go Cam.
Okay. Okay. So one thing that I have to say about JJK, because I'm on Stan Twitter with all the girlies who love Geto and Gojo, right? Because they're gay. Okay, we stan. And who was it? It was like the people who worked on season 2 of JJK, the anime. As soon as the manga was over, they were putting out all of their cute little pictures that they made of like Geto and Gojo, like one was like, it was a black and white photo of them like laying together, and then another one was like them at the airport, like with the sunset, with like Gojo's arm wrapped around him. I'm like, what are you trying to tell us? Like, y'all were ready to release these photos. This is so cute, these drawings. So cute. But yeah, that's my thing about
They were
JJK.
just waiting for the revelation.
I know, man. They're stans too, they are shippers. They're Geto and Gojo shippers, and we appreciate it. Okay.
I mean, regardless of pairings, they were the best dynamic in JJK by far.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
it's not even close.
Like, that's my favorite, because like that's my favorite. It's just like their dynamic and their relationship together, and like that brotherhood. And
they're literally the best part of JJK. The whole story, it's there.
Literally, and then it turns like into into a convoluted battle royale, and then the battle royale just gets thrown out the window, and then you have to learn all these complicated rules about the culling games. What the fuck was that all about? Did anybody understand the rules of the culling games? Honestly,
I did, but honestly, Cam, I know you normally don't like rewrites, but maybe you will like the JJK rewrites if you hate this stuff so much.
is this story or plot that I'm yelling about? I don't know.
You're complaining about plot and story, actually, both of them. So
Because
I feel like you
pissed me
you
off.
should just be on board with our eventual rewrite series if you don't like it. So
Because, like, I don't know if it was the summer of 2020 or 2021. Maybe, no, it couldn't have been 2022. Was when the culling games came out. Or when I read it, anyways. And I was like, what the fuck are these rules, bro? So then I went on Twitter, and then Twitter was like, do you understand? Twitter was like, I don't understand. And then somebody, like, had to break down the culling game rules, and I was like, okay, I can kind of follow along now. And then, like, the power systems of everybody was just weird and complicated. And like I said yesterday, what do I know about fucking gambling and
Samurai A. So it was infinitely worse in JJK.
oh yeah,
Nah, bro.
for sure.
Like,
Kamui, I had a problem.
Unnecessary jargon.
I had an over-analysis nitpick problem with the culling game rules the second I saw them. We talked about it for like an hour the second it appeared.
Okay,
But I'm completely
Yeah.
okay with all of it. I think it makes perfect sense.
shut up, fuck you.
No, culling game rules is my locker balls.
Is this
okay?
a locker ball? Literally, it's your locker ball.
It's my locker balls.
I
It always
understood
works.
them. It's just, problem isn't the rules of the calling game. It's just the calling games. It's just everything with Kenjaku. It's just
Kenjaku fucks me up, bro. I mean,
like
He
I
really
like his
does.
personality. Like
Mhm.
he was funny and like he entertained me, but it
He
was just
was very
everything was just so ruined for me that I'm just like fuck it all, bro. And like I don't want
and
it
I think
anymore.
that's the point of Kenjaku's character is he's just like there to cause chaos, fuck everybody's
Yeah.
life up, fuck everything up. That you're just like you throw your hands up in the air. Everybody throws their hands up in the air because you're like you think you got it figured out, and he's like, oh, got another one on my sleeve, bitches. You
Yeah.
know,
It
like,
was cool when he had all these multi-step plans. Everything's like, oh, bro, he was ready for this. But then it just... Oh, it's just pointless. Like, it was so wasted, bro. Kenjaku's wasted. Geito's wasted. Yuki's wasted. Tengen makes no sense. It's
I feel
just
like
the most
Megumi's a little
unresolved thing ever.
wasted.
Like,
Nobura's wasted.
everyone's wasted, bro. JJK is wasted.
Gege
And
must
I
have got
hear-
some
and I-
tips from Mikimoto. The
And
irrational.
I heard
villain.
Collabing.
I heard Gege is gonna come out with the Idol series, and I'm like, is that true? I
Oh,
just heard that from Twitter,
no.
so I don't know if it's true. But I'm like,
Crazy. I hear
ew.
he's into fashion,
I
just
hate.
like Ikimoto. Wasn't that like his thing
You
before
mean,
being a manga artist?
You mean Kubo?
Oh, is it Kubo as well? I thought I don't know who all it. Maybe it is
Oh.
as well.
No.
Probably is
Kubo.
Kubo.
Well, what I
is,
was going to say is, you know
um,
how Geito's like an anonymous person? Maybe it's just Ikimoto. It's just all.
Fuck you. I would hate that. Oh yeah, and then I'm still mad that the drawings got messy towards the end. That like
Mm.
the artwork is so messy. I hate it. I don't. And like I said before, like I said last night, I'm like, if I don't like the artwork, I'm not gonna like the series.
Yeah.
Like Wild, I'm gonna say this again. Wild Strawberry. Okay, the artwork it's consistently beautiful. I love the artwork in Wild Strawberry. Like it's just mwah, chef's kiss. It gets a little messy here and there, but it's like it's messy when it needs to be. Like Gege's artwork is messy all the time. Like what are we doing?
I think it got messier over time for sure, though. Especially in the final arc.
Okay.
I'm gonna go start making some chicken.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just stall for longer then.
Okay, never mind. I'll go back downstairs. I was trying to be preemptive.
Oh. Well, how preemptive is long time wise?
I feel like it's gonna take me 5 to 10 minutes, but like probably 5. But
Oh my god. It's up to Cam Cam. And oh, by the way, Kamui, Balloons is gonna be updated in a couple days. By a couple, I mean like very few. So there you go.
You know, like, he said anything major?
Probably this weekend. It's a new boss, which you don't care about. It's new modes. It's new whatever of the balance changes. A new map, obviously. That's every update. There's a couple new, like, obviously, like skins or whatever. There might be.
The only balance changes are the only thing.
Yeah, I think the tack shooter Paragon isn't this update, but that update after. Then I think they're also like adding a rogue-like game mode, like a mod feature as well. They're doing a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Either way, I'm hyped for the new boss. That's my favorite thing. But
Yeah, I never really play the boss stuff.
yeah,
I haven't played Bloons in a minute. I gotta go on a spree again.
When the new update drops, yeah, for sure. Maybe we'll stream it. But anyways, so thanks everyone for watching. And podcasters have failed, and we know we failed. And over and out. I butchered that so hard. Okay.